Be a little short here because I really want to get to the telephone lines and open things up for questioning here. I'm doing a nice program here about basic women having to go 50-50 because dovetailing off of last week's program and the programs in recent times here, I went on my Facebook and I asked a basic question. This is the question here. I think I also posted it here on YouTube. And I asked a basic question. I asked if the DA of Atlanta, if the sitting district attorney of Fulton County is okay paying half on dates, half on trips, half on vacations with her boyfriend. How is it that a bunch of basic, mediocre, plain Jane chicks on Facebook are all flooding their timelines talking about they're too good to go 50-50? The sitting district attorney of Fulton County is okay doing that for years, but you got a bunch of false flagging clucks on Facebook swearing up and down otherwise, and we are going to, of course, get into the falseness of that. But what I want to do is I want to show you some of the responses here that happened. And as you can see, over 578 likes on the post. But boy, oh boy, here's the first one here. Randy, I thought you were against 50-50. The post clearly says what I'm talking about here, but they had to. Then here's Jessica Winter Martin. Just because one workhorse has low self-worth doesn't mean we all have to demean ourselves. Where is her standing to denigrate another female? I'm asking. If you go to her page, it's not like her dude is balling, and it's not like she's helping him to ball, so welcome to Facebook. Welcome to the internet. Another one, Dominiqua, said, obviously her standards are lacking. Okay. Kira. And there was Kira. Well, to each their own. The same woman was running with a married man who she said had to give a higher paying job, so I wouldn't exactly put her above anyone. Ma'am, she's the DA of Fulton County. I'm just saying, if y'all can't outclass the DA of Fulton County, how are you going to criticize the DA of Fulton County? It's just, please explain to me how in the world that works. How do you look in the mirror and say, you know what? I could criticize the district attorney. I could do that. I'm wondering how. To which I responded, notice the women complaining on this post don't have a better man than Fannie Willis does. Just a lot of squawking about how they are somehow better or smarter while they peck away on Facebook. Let that digest for a minute. 51 likes. And after seeing that there, I said, you know what? I want to take an opportunity to talk about this and discuss this. I want to take an opportunity to do that. I want to take an opportunity to discuss that here tonight because I see things are a little mixed up here. Not a little mixed up, very mixed up. Let me go ahead and explain to you exactly why. Most females are basic. Ladies, I know that's not what you want to hear. You really want to hear you're special. I understand that because you know that with special comes special gifts, comes special privileges. You want to hear you're special. Not true. Totally false. The majority of you are basic chicks. What? But it's true. I'm not saying that to be an insult. I'm not saying that to be denigrating. I am saying, look in the mirror. Is that an exceptional female staring back at you? Does that look like an exceptional female staring back at you when you look in the mirror? That's a simple question. Is that an exceptional looking female? A female whose looks, her life, her attitude, her demeanor Is anything, what's the exceptional part? Well, I think I'm exceptional. Okay, and what do you have that substantiates that? Well, I feel like it. At what point do you stop talking stupid? No. It is time for you to update your lexicons.
Join me, and I will complete your training.
I'm here to update your files tonight. No, this is not about being an average chick. Most of the females today are not, quote, average. They are basic. And you gotta level with reality in that regard. They're basic. I mean, what you get today, when you get a chick today, for the most part, you get a set of ovaries that may or may not still be functional. And she's on her weight loss and debt relief journey. The overwhelming majority of which will never complete, by the way. They will never complete their weight loss journey. They will never complete their student debt journey. Now, of course, they want a man who has finished his economic journey. They want you to have finished your economic journey from minimum wage to rich. As a man, you need to have completed your journey. But for them, we good. And what I'm saying is that 50-50 is a basic life. It's not Instagram. That's not Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. It's not your VH1 fantasy. It's not your Calgon Lifetime Movie Network fantasy. No, that's reality. That's just the real damn world. If you are a basic female, and most women are basic, then you get to go 50-50. That's what it means when you're basic. You've been sitting in the gym sweating to the oldies, ain't dropped a dress size yet. You're a basic chick. We have sat up here and allowed the underachievers and the failures to dumb down the language, dumb down the lexicon, dumb down the discussion, dumb down the national dialogue, to sit up here and elevate where they're stuck at in life to be the, quote, average. You're not just average, you're basic. That's the point I'm making. You're basic. You want a man who is exceptional. And let's be clear, a fella who is making six figures, well, by definition, that's exceptional. That's in the top at least 20%. And yet, are you a female who, when you walk in the door, you are rated in the top 20% by somebody other than your mama? And yet you are walking up to the men who you are on their level. And you're telling yourself, no, I'm not. Yes, you are. You're on their level. And you've been trying to delude yourself ever since. You know why? Because being a basic chick means you ain't qualifying for no benefits. You don't get anything. You don't get anything. The only prize you win is the opportunity to go back to work tomorrow. And no female wants to hear those words. That tomorrow is going to be just like today. Okay, but what you bring into a man is a tomorrow that is no better than today. That's what a basic broad does. A Kia is a basic car. I mean, Kia not in the chat room. A Hyundai is a basic car. A Toyota Corolla is a basic car. Nobody gets into those vehicles expecting luxury, expecting opulence, expecting anything above average. And I can't even really say average. They're not expecting anything above basic. Whatever features the car does have may not even be average. They may just be basic. Basic features. You get basic headlights, basic windows, a basic stereo system, basic seats, basic cloth seats, basic leg room. You don't get exceptional. And what I'm saying is that if you are a basic female and look in the mirror, you can see basic. That's 50-50. And every chick is trying to figure out how she can find a loophole where she can be a basic chick and I get better than 50-50. No, ma'am. 50-50 is where you go when you basic. That's just what it is. And that's where you're supposed to be. And let me tell you, when you are in such a delusional world where chicks sit up here and look at Instagram and they see females that you are nowhere near her level. You aren't even in the same damn continental drift that she's in. And yet you're talking about, I ain't doing no 50-50. Then we take a look at your relationship status. You damn right, you ain't doing 50-50. You doing 100 on your own. Let me ask a basic question here for all the women who are angry right now. They're gnashing their teeth. They're biting. They're growling. What makes you worthy of better than 50-50? What is it that you offer? What is it that you do that makes you worth more than 50-50? And I'm not just going to ask that question of the women tonight. I want to open up the phone lines and ask that question of the men as well. What is it about these women today? They're size 16, bad attitudes, inarticulate. They belch when you take them out on a date somewhere. Nothing exceptional going on. Student debt in their 40s and 50s. They drive a basic Honda, a basic Nissan, a basic Hyundai. Want you to sit up here and when you enter the picture, they want you to go and get them that top of the line foreign. I'm not talking about from Korea. What is it that makes them think that they're better than 50-50? What is it that they're offering that qualifies for better than 50-50? In the chat room, you're correct. You take a look at their damn sexual rap sheet. She's going to claim she's better than 50-50 and then 50% of the men in her zip code done had a crack at her. Excuse me, where's the beyond basic? Ladies, when enough men lay on top of you, I don't care how high your value was at the beginning, when enough men have laid on top of you, they can sex you into being a basic broad. They can sex you into becoming a basic broad. So what exactly is it that they have or that they're offering here that is qualifying for more than 50-50? What exactly is it that they're offering or doing? Because right now, I'm letting you know right now, ladies here, baby, look here, lunch, you should be happy to go ahead and get that. You was going to go eat anyway. She was going to go eat anyway. Why is she holding a grudge? As men, we are traveling from sea to shining sea, and we're asking a very basic question here. Where's the above 50-50? 50-50 what? Anything above 50-50 is exceptional. What about you is exceptional? So every female who comes wiggling and jiggling the door, I want to get exceptional treatment. No, you have a wish fulfillment fantasy. Otherwise, it should be very easy to articulate exactly what it is that you're offering that is beyond 50-50. You ain't never been nowhere with a fella and folks were like, damn, wish I could trade places with him. You go all over Facebook, you got a bunch of middle-aged, out-of-shape, sloppy, single moms telling you that they're worth more than 50-50. I'm just saying that this is an insult to your intelligence. Certainly an insult to mine. It's an insult to the intelligence to hear that. An absolute insult. You're a basic chick. There's nothing exceptional. Take a look at your income. Take a look at your lifestyle. Take a look at your IQ. Take a look at your ability to network. Take a look at your assets. Take a look at your accomplishments. Your accomplishments are not special. Fannie Willis at least made it to be the damn DA of Atlanta. At least Fannie Willis is the DA of Atlanta. You got a bunch of chicks out here who couldn't win election for ice cream salesmen trying to tell you they're better than her. And she ain't too good to go 50-50. You know why? Because Fannie Willis looked in the mirror and she said, you know what? I ain't dropping no dress sizes anytime soon. I better have an offset. And she leveled with herself and she caught herself where she is, and that's where she's at. Then you got a bunch of chicks on a bunch of femcells on Facebook talking delusional. However, you might disagree. Therefore, the telephone lines are now open, and the number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. Your personal access code to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. This is the one. You're definitely welcome to go ahead and join us. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program here on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. I see you, Serenity. Don't worry, we're going to get you straightened out before it's over. I want you to go ahead and pay some attention here tonight. Pay some attention. What in the world makes you worth more than 50-50? What makes you so valuable that a man should be happy to carry you? Which is what more than 50-50 is. 50-50 is he got your back, you got his back. That's 50-50. 60-40 is he's carrying you. 90-10 is you ain't even doing nothing. So explain to me in civil language here, what exactly is it that you're offering that makes you so valuable that a man would be happy to carry you? What are you contributing to a relationship that is worth carrying you? Now, some of you will sit up here and lie your asses off talking about you can have children. Half of you in your damn late 30s and 40s. No man is waiting to have a family with you. You're not offering him a family. You're not offering him offspring. If you were, you'd already have it. You're not offering a family. And even if you were, are you offering fantastic children? You'd have to be a fantastic woman first. Baby, if you finish at the bottom of your damn class at community college, that's your first clue. Huh? These are going to be some dumbass kids. Where is the exceptional being here? Going to go ahead and pin the Zoom to the top of the chat room there. Please keep in mind that we do give preferential treatment on Zoom. Just make sure that all we ask is you have your camera and your microphone on. We're going to go ahead and go over here to the telephone lines. Let me get caller from area code 662. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, this is Shady Dre.
Okay, hey, this is who?
Dre. They call me Shady Dre.
All right, Drake, where you calling from?
I'm from Memphis.
All right, Drake from Memphis. What's on your mind?
I want to absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree. For some reason, there's a battle between the queens and the kings I don't understand. But I wanted to ask you something, if you don't mind.
Okay, what's on your mind?
Seems like you know a lot. What do you think the problem lies?
I think that you have the most spoiled generation of females ever, is what you have. They have been spoiled by television. They've been spoiled by radio, and they have allowed the fact that marketing from New York and California companies and marketing firms, they've allowed marketing on television and now marketing on the internet to feed into a willful delusion. They're willful. They desire to be deluded They're allowing it to feed into that so that they can live this fantasy. But there's also one other thing. They have a stereotypical expectation in their minds. The females that they see living, quote unquote, the life that they want to be or envision themselves in, those women didn't do anything. Now, that's what they tell themselves. Those women didn't do nothing. Some guy just gave it to them because they're so great. So a bunch of these females were raised either by deadbeat dads, delusional dads, or gutter moms who told them they're great their whole lives, even though she's size 22 by the age of 13. So what happens is they grow up here thinking that they're owed something for that. That's the issue. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. They've been raised and weaned on a delusion that the stuff they seen on TV, the stuff they seen on cable, the stuff they see in rap videos, the marketing images, that they are eligible for that too, under the same terms that they think about it in. They think about it as, well, if Beyonce got it, why come I can't get it? Because you're not worth it. Long story short, you're not worth it. You don't have what she has. You just want to hear that you got what she got, but you don't. When you look in the mirror, when you open your mouth, when you take a look at your resume, you don't have it. Ladies, can we be honest here for just a few moments? Y'all can take a look at Angela Bassett. You can take a look at Beyonce. You can take a look at Felicia Rashad. Hell, you can take a look at Halle Berry. I'm not even talking about in the looks department. I'm talking about in attitude, demeanor, articulation. That these are women who simply standing next to a man raise a man's value. And when they start talking, raise it even more. Meanwhile, you got delusions of G-Wagons and sugar plums dancing in your head. That some man is going to look at a basic chick and drop it off in your lap. That's called the Cinderella fantasy, but it's worse than Cinderella. It is worse than a Cinderella fantasy. It's an exploitation fantasy. At least Cinderella had to come in to the event looking like the damn belle of the ball. What? Cinderella didn't show up to Prince Charming looking all bummy and talking all bummy and looking all raggedy. She didn't come there until she showed up looking like the flyest thing in the room, talking like the flyest thing, comporting herself. She was the best and the baddest of the breed when she walked in there. That's the difference. So we're not even truly discussing a Cinderella fantasy anymore. We're discussing an exploitation fantasy. That in their minds, the ideal circumstance is I just sit here looking like Lizzo and smelling like it, and top-notch men are going to take a sledgehammer, bust my door down, and drop off exceptional benefits in my basic broad lap. That's the issue. Call America 347. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, you're on live. What is your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Dominic, calling from the Bronx.
Dominic from the Bronx. What's on your mind?
How you doing? I just got a quick question. What's making an older woman seem like their value is more than what it is?
Because over the last 5 decades, you've had so many females raised in single mother homes that they don't have any real male feedback. Also, they've been so used to getting rejected for so long that rather than go talk to men, they've formed these female cliques. And so now they just have a feedback loop that reinforces whatever belief they already have. It's kind of like being a member of a political party. Political parties today, especially in America, they don't listen to the constituency. They just sit around listening to each other. Or if you go into the music business or Hollywood, they deliberately have created a bubble where they shut out any outside feedback or outside communication. So now the females have just created one giant femcell where they only talk to each other. in order to protect each other's broken, busted egos. Now, if something physically gets broken and needs to be fixed, then all of a sudden they go scrambling for a man. But up until then, that's what it is. The other thing is, over the last 50 years, we have created services. Now, I want you all to understand, I'm about to update your files for you here tonight.
Join me, and I will complete your training.
We're going to update your files. Now, you've heard it said by many people, you've heard it said by other folks on the internet, that what has happened is, well, the government has stepped in and taken the place of the men. I want to expand your vocabularies beyond that. Over the last 50 years, we have created a never-ending list of services in the private sector that have taken the place of the man. If a female is willing to work and sacrifice 3/4 of her income, well, she can purchase or rent a man who will do those things. She can rent a man if the pipe plumbing breaks. Go call a plumber. If her car breaks down, she can rent a man to fix it. Go see a mechanic. She can rent a man for the roof. She can rent a man for the drywall. She can rent a man under those circumstances. So we've created a society now that for females who are unwanted or unfit, they are unfit to be with a man. Now we've given them services for doing that. We've given them ways of circumventing that. The car breaks down, they can call AAA. They want food. We got Uber Eats. We got fast food places all over the place. So those are the kind of things that have taken the place. Services. If she's willing to work. What then happens is she spends her entire prime years working in order to compensate for that man not being there. And then she gets in her 40s or 50s and there's no man. The services are still there, but there's no man. And because she's so old, she does not want to work anymore. So now you're about to lose the rented men that you got. That's what happened.
Is they focus shifting to younger men as well? This is something that I'm noticing in New York. I don't know about anywhere else, but I noticed they now focus on a lot of younger men.
No.
In New York.
Okay, the focus hasn't shifted. I mean, I was dating older females from the time I was old enough to be able to do it. So that's not the part that has changed. The part that has changed is because right now you've got an epidemic of females sitting up here sexually abusing teenagers in schools. I mean, we've never seen anything like this in our lives. So, the only unnatural sex is none at all, as Freud said. So what you're having are females who are trying to get in where they fit in. What they're trying to do. Now, let me explain exactly where that part comes from. You got two types of things here. Because the thing is, they're not just dating younger dudes. They're dating younger fellas that they think are going to have something going for them. That's the first thing. Not something tremendous. Not something tremendous. Not something tremendous. Not something tremendous. I want to make sure that drills through y'all's heads. They do not think that they are getting with a winner. They're jumping with a younger dude because he's the one who'll have them. And she's hoping that something will work out. But also, she knows that he's safe. He has no leverage. He has no veto power. She's got more economics, more status, and everything else than him. He's not a threat. An older female is scared she's going to end up being alone. At this point now, she realizes being alone is a very real possibility. So most of them are trying to get younger guys because they think they're going to be in control of it. And you're right, you most likely will be. The problem is he's got more years in front of him to get in a concrete relationship. You're at the end of your viability. You don't have anything else to leverage with. And eventually, once he gets himself halfway together, he's going to have more options. Please understand, the reason why they go after these younger fellas is because they think this guy doesn't have any experience. Let me grab him before he gets a bunch of life experience. Because once he has more experiences with more females, he'll have something to compare me to. Now, if it's a female, for example, who's in her 50s and she's talking to a guy in his 30s, she really just trying to pass the time. In New York City, and I've seen it in New York, Miami, whatever, dude, they just trying to pass the time. It's just their turn. Well, Jason, why do you say that? because the younger dudes are hip to the game. The younger fellas know that the odds are overwhelmingly in their favor. So the younger cats know, from sea to shining sea, from LA to New York, every young fella knows that the chicks out here for the men they want, the women outnumber the men. They know it. So you have a more sly, plus you got the internet where you have a bunch of guys like Andrew Tate and others who are teaching these young fellas how to navigate that landscape with older females. So you've got sources of information that didn't exist 20, 30 years ago. So you have a more sly, more savvy, more capable, more calculating group of males in their 20s. And they see the signs of a female that they can pull if she's older than him. So you put all that together, and that's why you have it. In New York City, cats up there ain't dumb, especially not the young ones. New York is a hustle city. You can't live or survive without it. So that also means you got some of those calculating young cats up there. So they know what the game is when they see an older female. They know full well, baby, if you're over the age of 35 and you still on the market, or if you're over the age of 30 and you still on the market, you've been passed over a bunch of times. The younger cats know this. If she's over the age of 30 or 34, oh, you've been passed over, because otherwise you would have been taken off the market, especially if they see if she's a nurse, if she's a lawyer, if she's a teacher. You work in environments where you have access to men, but ain't none of them taking you off the market. Oh, these young cats already know. Baby, you'd already be taken if you were such a hot property. If dudes were really digging you like that, you'd already be taken. So you can't overinflate your price to me. That's why.
Yeah. I totally agree. I work in the education system, so I totally agree. The younger males are very more advanced than we was. The technology and the information is definitely bringing them up to speed. I wish I had it. My father passed away early, but I wish I would have had some, good uncles around to give me some games. I 100% agree with that.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, I was that fella. In my late teens, early 20s, I was that fella. And I mean, I just remind people here now that, by the way, I wasn't trying to marry none of them chicks. I wasn't trying to marry any of them. I cared about them. It was a good experience in my life, but I wasn't trying to keep them. I wasn't trying to do that. And these younger fellas today are figuring out it's not so much that they want an older female, other than the fact, of course, it proves something to you. But it's also these younger fellas have learned they can expand their options. Because the younger females damn sure are. They've always done that. So the younger fellas are just now catching up to what females have always been able to do. You have a smarter, savvier, slicker, more calculating group of young men today. And you see a lot of it in your bigger cities, but you see a bunch of it in your smaller cities too. So things have changed. The society's changed. The environment's changed. What these young men expected themselves and what they expected their options, their sexual options, has changed. It's different now.
Thank you so much for your time, brother. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here today. I mean, look, you got an older female who, I mean, she's not putting up no resistance there. She's trying to get in where she fits in. She's trying to get in where she fits in. She's trying to prove that there's somebody who'll take her off the market. And there'll be some younger fellas sitting there with their baseball gloves ready to catch that pop fly. Let me get caller from area code 469. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Big Stomp from Dallas, Texas.
All right, Big Stomp from Dallas. What's on your mind?
Hey, Jason Black, let me tell you, the media, environment, telling women they have to be more like a man, more masculine, more dominant to be successful. And now the women are caught into this mess where they really don't even know it's a trap. That the most beautiful thing that they are suppressing is their true essence. And not only that, but we also have women that they're not cultivating the beauty, the pose, the poise, the feminine side.
Well,
their
the thing
true
is, they
essence.
don't have
So then
to. There's the bigger issue is that they actually don't, well, at least they tell themselves they don't have to, because you got a situation that you didn't have with your parents and grandparents. Your grandmama was trying to come up, and your grandmama was willing to pay the cost to be the boss. The chicks today have something that your grandmother didn't have, an entitlement mentality, because they tell themselves, well, I'm just as good as Beyonce, even though that's a damn lie. They want to believe that's what it is. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 314. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yeah, Jason. My name is Lyle, calling from Orange County, California, Irvine.
All right, Lyle from Irvine, California. What's on your mind?
Okay, I got a question. If you could, I'm a little confused. If you can give a little distinction between the woman that deserves the 100%, or the guy that should be doing 50-50, or the guy that should be doing 100%. Like, I'm a little, and then also that thing you said about, a woman shouldn't be sitting at home, while you're out working 100%. It seems like I have a little confusion between those concepts. If you could clear up, please.
Okay, let's go ahead and take this from the top and go down. And you got some echoing going on there on your phone, so if you have your speakers on, you need to turn those off. Let's start from the top and go down. I think that'll make it easier for you all to understand if we just start from the top and go down instead. Now,
okay.
What I usually show you all is about what it takes to be in the top 10%. And the reason for that is because I want you to understand exactly what is expected of you. Right now, to be in the top 10%, that's $173,000 a year, although I expect that to be over $200,000 by the end of this year. Think about that for a few moments. Just a few years ago, that number was 100,000. Now that number is 173,000. I bring that up because I want you to understand that type of money changes a woman's life. Having a man who can foot that type of burden, that changes a woman's life. Right there. That's going to change her life. She ain't going to be the same chick that she was. And I'm talking about no matter what her age is. You got a fella in the top 5%, that's over $342,000. That's going to not change her life. It's going to transform it. It's going to transform it. So I'm bringing it up to say, okay, what is she giving you that is transforming your life to the same degree? Now, let me explain to you the philosophy behind asking that question, because over the years, a lot of fellas here have started simping their asses off and baiting their asses off, because this is the problem that we run into as men. There's a bunch of fellas who figured out that if I am just a relentless butt kisser to females, I can get female attention. Notice I didn't say female sexual contact, female attention. We got a bunch of fellas out here ready to stab all of us in the back just to get a female to actually wink at him. Forget giving physical contact. If she wink at me, I'm juking all of you. So I want you to understand the philosophy that undergirds what I'm saying here, that a man must have a equitable return on that productivity. If you're bringing $500,000 worth of masculine excellence, well, then shouldn't you be getting $500,000 worth of feminine excellence? Shouldn't you be isn't that balanced? Because anything else is out of balance. Now, why would that be a problem? Because if you went off and bought a car, you wouldn't be bragging to people if you bought that car under bad terms, where the terms were outrageously lopsided in favor of the dealership. You paying a 15% interest rate. The car's worth $10,000 and you're paying $50,000. You wouldn't brag to anybody, folks. Everybody and nobody would be sitting up here trying to console you. They'd all be saying, "Oh God, you got to take that thing back. You got played. You got cheated. This isn't worth it," is what they would tell you. Well, what I'm saying is that applies to everything in life, including the woman you're with. She may not be worth that. If you are a fella who is exceptional, if you've produced exceptionally, and I'm not just talking about income, but I'm just giving that to you because people can wrap their minds around that. If your whole life is imbalanced in that regard and your masculinity confirms your income level, for example, well, the woman needs to confirm that. What is she bringing that balances that? $342,000 of masculine productivity. What's she bringing that balances that? To which I tell you, now it is essential that you make sure that she is worth that level of productivity. The first place you can do that is she must pay tribute, which is a phrase among others that I introduced into the lexicon here years and years ago, but she must pay tribute. If she is with a man and money is his love language, how dare she insult him by saying that, okay, that's a one-way damn street. She doesn't value you. If you're taking a look at the fact that she gets tangibles from you, tangible appreciation, then how in the hell is it that you are not worth tangible appreciation? She's with a man who is exceptional and above average. How the hell is it that what she's giving you is not exceptional and above average? How the hell is it that she likes you because you are not presenting the bare minimum? When she talks about what you doing is all tangibles, okay, then don't insult this man who is exceptional in a tangible way, and you are offering him intangibles. Here's a pat on the back. Fellas, recognize when you're getting played. So starting from the top of the most valuable men, what is expected? Because you have done an exceptional amount, exceptional as compared to other men, you can take a look at their income, their productivity, their freedom of movement, their retirement. Although people like me don't retire, but you get the idea. Their ability to make an impact on the world, their influence, how admired they are by other people, particularly other men, not other women. Other men admire him. I'll be damned. This guy's probably bringing in, if he's making $300,000 a year, he's probably knocking down $1 million or a couple million in masculine performance. If he checks all those boxes I just named. This woman doesn't have a man, brother. She got a winner. She knows in her heart of hearts, I'm winning the game. I got a winner. I don't just have a man, I have a winner. So what is she doing to be worthy of that winner? She must pay tribute. Jason, what is tribute? Tribute should be at least, for every dollar that you spend on her, she should be spending 25 cents at least. Now, she can go as far above that as she wants to. As a matter of fact, from time to time, you better check that. But fellas, you better go back and check over your relationships, over your expenditures, over your year. Ask yourself, by the way, if I done spent $2,000 and this heifer done got me a pair of socks, she's telling you she doesn't appreciate you or respect you, that you're just a sucker. Don't let them little sweet nothings and a bunch of triple X-rated sex fool you. You see, when women want to get out of paying tangibles, that's when they start throwing the sex around all crazy. Jason, did you say that? I damn sure did. When women are trying to get their way out of paying for something, that's when they start throwing sex around. Because money requires sacrifice. It requires work. And what she's telling you when she doesn't do anything financial for you, she's telling you that you're not worth that sacrifice. Now, the insult of it is I guarantee you can find some fella in her past that she was working her ass off for. Now, let's move down to the next level. The next level, because we just had you with top performance there, top 10%. Now we're going to move down here into that 20, 30%. Now you're looking at guys who are making $50,000 a year to $100,000. All right, fine. Those guys are not minimum wage. They're not exceptional, but they're not bare minimum either. But what I am going to say is that she's got a fellow who can do more for her than she does for him. We need to discuss 50-50. We need to discuss 50-50 here on account of the fact that that's what you rate. That's what you qualify for. You can dream about Mr. Exceptional. You need to get with Mr. Above Average and make it work. Because that's where you are. Because if you were an exceptional female, the exceptional men would already have taken you off the market. Yikes. That's the way that works. So if she is worthy of that, she's already going to be getting that kind of attention. She's not going to be begging for it. And she won't be trying to gaslight you into believing it's there. Lastly, you're going to get down to the basic dues. That's going to be your bottom 70, 60%. Well, that's a basic guy. He gets up, he goes to work, he's a law-abiding citizen. Nothing about his life is exceptional. He may have that Dodge Charger he's always wanted, but nothing about his life is exceptional. He's going to have a basic car, a basic apartment, basic clothes. And guess what? A fellow who's got basic productivity is going to have a basic female. She might not be dog ugly, but she's not exceptional. He's a basic dude. She's a basic chick. He's got a basic car. She's a basic size 10. His life is a 4 or a 6. His woman is a 4. Maybe a 6 if you dress her up. And that's fine. That's okay because you two are in balance. There isn't anything about that man that makes an exceptional woman want to do backflips for him, and there isn't anything about that woman that makes an exceptional man want to stop and produce exceptionally for her. They are in balance. They're in balance. So anything that is not exceptional, you 50-50 on account of the fact that you cannot increase anything. You're a basic chick. You ain't trying to be exceptional. There's nothing about you that is exceptional. That's what you get. To the fellas who are above that and the women who aspire to be above that, even for them, you're going to have to pay tribute. Now, backing up one more place here because this is something you asked about. You asked, who is it exactly that would qualify for a man paying 100% for? Well, my first real answer to that is no one, because no woman's supposed to be sitting around getting a bunch of benefits for nothing. That's the first thing. Being able to give birth is not exceptional. Even if she's 21 years old, giving birth is not an exceptional ability. It ain't a skill set, and it's not an exceptional ability. So stop letting women gaslight you fellas into thinking, well, if she can have your kids, that's the exceptional, quote, gift she's giving. Take your Steve Harvey scum-sucking ass on up out of here. Go gaslight somebody else. What I will say is that if you're discussing the concept of a kept woman is a young woman's game. A kept female is a young woman's game. You don't grab some 35-year-old, 40-year-old talking about a damn kept woman on account of the fact that her runway is run out. Whatever it is that you're trying to get from her socially, you're going to experience diminishing returns. You have the ability to continue elevating her life. She doesn't have the ability to elevate yours other than being a cool companion. Okay, but do you do that for cool companion? I would suggest to you that a man who is that foolish, he doesn't really deserve what he has, and he won't keep it when she gets done. But being a kept woman who's just sitting around and doing whatever you want to do from sun up to sundown, and that man is giving you top of the line cars and a top of the line lifestyle and a top of the line wardrobe, and you aren't producing any effort on your own. There's no labor from you that is contributing to that. That's a young woman's game. And by young woman, I mean between the ages of 18 and 21. In other words, a female who has not entered the workforce. And because she hasn't entered the workforce, she has never competed against us as men. So a lot of those negative character traits that women who enter the workforce pick up, she's never picked it up. In other words, because she's young enough and she hasn't been exposed to all that garbage, she's more of a clean slate. But remember, this only matters for the man who knows what he's going to build out of it. If all you're going to do is build a chick sitting on the couch, you're going to wish you hadn't done this. So even still, I admonish you greatly, you need to have her producing. She must. She must. But that's a young woman's game. But you're not going to convince me of having a female that she sits around and you're doing 100% and she's just sitting there watching TV and flipping through Netflix, that's a waste of time and a waste of money. What use does a productive man have for an unproductive female? What use does a competitive man have for an uncompetitive female? What use do we have for that? Too many fellas are so dog-ass desperate for sex. They've just been living in the wilderness and a drought their whole lives that if a female does stop to give him the time of day, he's willing to give up everything to have a reliable source of sexual contact. And then when she tells him, well, I just want to sit at home, when you clearly see she's been run through, run by, and run over, she's not contributing anything that is proportional in any way to what you're offering. You're about to elevate and transform her life, and she's going to sit there and soak up the benefits. That's bad math. That's terrible math. That's desperation. And a desperate man always makes a bad deal. So, to summarize from the top to the bottom, for the fellas in the top 10% or whatnot, you can do more. It may be more worth it for you to have her around more. So maybe she doesn't have to have a full-time job. I get it. But regardless, she needs to pay tribute. If you have a woman who isn't paying tribute, if you're a man in the top 10% or higher, and the woman you're with is not paying tribute, she is going to take you for granted. Most women will, regardless. But if you're a guy in the top 10% or higher, you can elevate and transform her lifestyle, and she's not sacrificing, contributing nothing at all, except some greasy sex, dude, she's going to take advantage. Because you're giving it to her, and she didn't have to earn it, and she's still not earning it. For the guys who are below that, 50-50. That doesn't mean that you don't continue to perform at a high level and produce at a high level. But yeah, tribute's not going to be enough for her. That's not going to be enough. And if she thinks she wants to try to go above that, well, she can go ahead and try that. But what I'm telling you is the dirty little secret is that all these chicks talking about they don't do 50-50. You take a look at them. They're a bunch of baby mamas. Well, clearly you didn't go 50-50, baby. You went 80-20. Just understand they're saying that to gaslight you all. What they're trying to say is that your productivity is not enough. That's what they're trying to say. But it isn't because they won't take 50-50. It's because they're trying to strong arm the best deal they can for themselves. Does that make sense?
And if you're in that, yeah, definitely. That cleared most of that up for me. So if you are in the situation where you're in that 50-50 category, that's 50-50 on everything. Money, chores, bills, all that. You can't demand the
here's my thing.
You would if you're in that 10%.
No. 50-50 does not mean 50-50 across the board. Not to me, it doesn't. 50-50 don't mean 50-50 across the board, but it does mean 50-50 at the man's discretion. It does mean 50-50 at the man's discretion. So I'm not a believer in 50-50 across the board, not necessarily, but I do believe it's at your discretion. This idea that if you're a man, you're supposed to just pay 100% and she gets to sit there and play with her money and it's at her discretion what she does with it. No. There's the problem. It's not about the men. It's about the women and the idea that if she giving you some female company, then she gets to spend all your money and her money is to be spent at her discretion. Now, there's where the problem comes in.
So what do you say then when there's the woman with the ideology that, hey, I'm going out working just like you are, therefore, you shouldn't expect me to do housework and chores and things, like you should be doing it just like I am since I'm working just like you are.
Okay, here's the first thing. First of all, if you two are living together, that's supposed to be your place. So if you're living under her roof, you're already at a disadvantage. You don't have the ability to debate anything.
Right.
So if we're under your roof, tell me how that conversation's supposed to go if we're under your roof.
If she's saying that same thing, I've seen examples of it. Like she's living under your roof, but she's saying like, hey, I'm bringing half of the bills. We're doing 50-50. So if I have to go to work, why is it fair that I have to do, the housework?
Because you live in the damn house, don't? Because she lives in the house, doesn't she?
Right.
Okay, she lives in that house. If she lives in the house, how the hell is she complaining about that? Why do I got to cook? You getting ready to eat too, heifer, ain't you? What the hell? I need fellas to stop sitting up here. Y'all don't work these scenarios all the way through. You kind of just step 1 or 2 steps. It's a 5-step process. They take 1 or 2 steps. They don't think that through. If she lives under that roof, she's living there. Okay, yeah. Why do I got to clean up? Because you live here. Why I got to cook? Because you're eating.
But then they hit you with the so do you. That's what they hit you back with.
Okay, well, certainly if she wants to let you do that, I guess y'all two can work that out if you want to. That's up to you. But I will tell you one more thing. I never think it's a good idea when you have a woman who's giving you orders.
Right.
It's never a good idea if you're a man and there's a female who's barking out orders to you. You can't let that happen anytime. The other thing is there are things that you do as a man that is 100%. You don't have, there ain't no 50-50. I've educated you all about this before. Do you remember?
Risking your life. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Brother, I'm not saying that stuff because I'm guessing my way through it. Yeah, when it's time to risk your damn life, that's going to be 100% you.
Right.
And that's supposed to be at a moment's notice. So let me get this straight.
No hesitation.
She complaining about moving the damn vacuum cleaner on floors that she walked on. She's complaining about that. And if something go down, you're expected to get zeroed out at a second's notice. And you're supposed to do it with no hesitation whatsoever. Now, she can sit there and hem and haw in front of the refrigerator to figure out if she wants to cook chicken or fish. If something go down, you're supposed to be ready to risk your life at a moment's notice, in an instant. How much is that worth?
Okay. I got it, Jason. I appreciate it, bro. Long time listener to both of the broadcasts and appreciate what you're doing, man.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. We appreciate that. Let me send a shout out here to my man Project Leroy. Thank you very much for your support in the super chat. We appreciate that. Family business, stand on business. Thank you very much for your support here as well. We appreciate that. And to everyone else who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Venmo, Super Chat, thank you very much for your support. Let me get caller from area code 720. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
TBA, what's up? It's Chris from Denver.
All right, Chris from Denver, what's on your mind?
Hey, it's been a while since I called in, but I had to call in on this one, man. This is a subject I actually touch on a lot with a lot of my female coworkers. I just hear them talk and brag about all the things that guys need to do and bring to the table. That's always a subject now. What this man brings to the table, what he doesn't bring to the table. And they're all a bunch of older females. I mean, all over 35 years old. And I'm like, man, I just like, you guys are crazy, man. I mean, you expect these guys to just drop it all off to you. And as you say all the time, I warn them. I go, after 35, ladies, man, you're nothing but a bill. I mean, you guys are not really bringing anything that a man is looking for as far as, youth and age and beauty and all that kind of stuff. And, of course, that sets everybody off. But I at least warn them, man. I at least try to give them that big brother treatment, man.
Look, here's the thing.
Of course,
how hard is a man supposed to work to get a 35-year-old chick with a bunch of bastard kids? How hard are you supposed to work for that? How much you supposed to give? 100%. Really? So you gonna get something ragged out, run through, carrying somebody else's kids, or she just ragged out and run through, period, regardless of age. And that's worth 100% of your effort? Someone explain to me how that is an equitable arrangement. Where's the balance there? Because I see where she's getting a tremendous reward, tremendous benefit, and most of all, it's unearned. She's just walking in, and all the work that you did before you ever met her, she just walks in and is the beneficiary of it with no extra added value. Certainly nothing commensurate to what you're bringing. So what you're noticing here is you got a bunch of females who are operating on the assumption that you're all desperate for sex, and that you're also desperate that they can leverage it in that manner. That's why, for example, they want to either go after younger guys or go after older saps. The young fellas whose sex is new to them, or the old dudes who are desperate and starving for it. But that middle ground of the fellows whose careers are taking off and their money taking off and they become more savvy and they've had enough experiences, you can't really get over on them easy, they stay away. Those are the ones they do all the complaining about, because they're the majority, but they're complaining about them because those fellows are no longer anybody's fool. So when those chicks start talking like that, they're letting you know we don't want to go 50-50 and this, that, and the other. They're trying to make up for lost time, and they're really trying to throw it out there for who's going to go for it. But the bottom line is, the dirty little secret is all of them going to go for it. All of them are fine, and all of them are going to go for it. What they're trying to do is figure out where your ceiling is. What we call in sales, whether your floor or your ceiling, they want to know where your ceiling is. They want to see how high you'll go. That's the whole point of saying that. That's not for their consumption. That they're saying that for your consumption. Let's see how desperate you really are. And when they realize the fellas ain't really moving, that's when they really start getting hostile. I'll let you have the last word.
No, I absolutely agree. And like you say, it's they're speaking in an echo chamber. You know, just women don't check each other. And they all right, that's right, girl, each other. But in the back of their minds, as you know, they know that's all for our consumption and for the internet. But at the end of the day, behind closed doors, they know there's some dude coming by, knocking it out the park. That is probably not doing half the things that they're talking about, and that's the funny part.
Well, let me add another dimension to that, which is why I started off the program the way I did here. Even if out of that gaggle of out-of-shape cackling hens at your job, even if they did find that one super simp who's just been languishing in obscurity for so long, and he's just ready to throw caution to the wind, and he's just so desperate, he's just going to ride it all on this heifer right here. He ain't worried about the kids, the weight gain, STDs and everything. He ain't worried about none of that. He's gonna pay top dollar for this run-through chick. Brother, just because he grossly overpaid, that is still no justification for us to do the same. Just because they found a sucker, or they're on a crusade to find a sucker, that still isn't a justification for us to make a bad deal just because he was happy making a terrible one.
I agree with that. I mean, because, yeah.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller code 347. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's going on, Brother Jason? This is Lex from Brooklyn.
All right, Lex from Brooklyn. What's on your mind?
This is another great broadcast, as always, Brother Jason. I wanted to first, I had a story I wanted to kind of share. I'll do an abridged version, but the first thing I wanted to talk to is that what I'm noticing a lot in New York City, especially with women, that you always mention about women staring at the barrel of 30 and 35. Like, I'm seeing them really kind of go through, if you will, a breakdown. Like, a lot of them is, I wish my life would have turned out a certain way. And, you know, they're crying and just breaking down in real time. And I remember I actually spoke to a 41-year-old chick who was just crying over the phone because she was still in school, in college, trying to pursue another degree. And she was just crying, saying, like, I got to pay this mortgage. I just wish I came home to a man that can help me cook a meal or can clean or something like that. Because as you mentioned in the past, you know, those responsibilities are bearing all on her shoulders. But the story I wanted to share was that there was a situation where I was dealing with this influencer. She would tell me that she was basically a millionaire. And, you know, and when we talk about paying tribute, there was a situation where, you know, she would treat me to dinners. I remember in Miami, she treated me to a boat ride, popping Moet and all these different things. But the weird thing was that after we got back, a lot of the outings we go on, when I never initiated them, she'll try to foot me with the bill and try to, like, when the server would come around, like, oh yeah, it's the man's job, he should pay it, and these are like $300 bills that I didn't even ask to go on these dinners. She would say, hey, I got his reservations, just trying to put me with the bill. So I wanted to get your insight on that, brother Jason. Like, what? And then shortly after I cut it off, she was just crazy, ultra feminist. But the situation where she'll lead with her wallet, try to rope me in, I guess, if you will, saying, hey, I'm doing so well for myself. Here are these luxuries when I never asked for it. But then try to flip it and do this city girl situation that really, threw me off.
Well, first of all, men need to be very clear walking in the door what the expectations are. You cannot be shy. You cannot be coy. You cannot be vague. You cannot be indirect. You have to say exactly what it is. Money is your love language, and you're only interested in a female who speaks the same language. If you fellas want a phraseology for it, I've given you many phraseologies over the year. I just gave you another one there. If you don't want to say it, or you kind of shy about it, well, I just told you that word. Tell them money is my love language. I'm looking for a female who speaks the same language. Now, right there, she's either going to come correct with it or that's it. We've handled that from day one. That we have a very clear understanding, and her answer to you needs to be very, very clear. Not, oh, well, I can understand that. If she doesn't say to you in a very clear voice, oh, absolutely, that's exactly who I am. Now, if she didn't say that, y'all need to treat this like lawyers. Wait a minute, if she didn't say that, then you just let her go ahead here and get over on you. No, if you said that to her in very clear language, she needs to respond to you in very clear language that she ain't afraid to work for you. She ain't afraid to produce. She wants tangible gifts and benefits, and she sees you as worthy of the same. That you take care of that walking in the door. And that way, when you get down the road, there is no misunderstanding. There is either she's kept her word or broken it. But you can't wait till you get 10 miles down the road and then you're trying to educate her and get her on code and get her with the program. That's supposed to all be taken care of at the beginning. All those awkward, uncomfortable conversations, the awkward conversations, y'all need to have those up front. Day one, straight out the gap. Let's get this out the way. That way you don't have all these other issues coming up here later. Or if they do, you're like, okay, I'm cutting it off and this is the reason why I'm doing it. Because you knew who I was when you met me. You knew the deal. You like my swag because money, productivity, masculinity, results. That's my love language. Well, if you know that's my love language, you know you're supposed to be the female counterpart. You also know you haven't been doing it. Now, the next part about this is, and this is why a man must have options. Females will always try to test you, and more often than not, they will try bait and switch. Because remember, a female tells herself that simply because she's throwing her legs open, you owe her. So eventually, she's going to start telling herself, I don't have to produce any tribute anymore. Ain't I giving him sex? To which you need to make it very clear to her, I can get that anywhere. You have no monopoly on that whatsoever. That way is very clearly understood. And then last but not least, if she continues being a disciplinary problem, you stop talking and you start showing. Not because you want to get her back and not because you want to keep her, but because you're keeping your own discipline. So as men, I advise you, before you even get down the road, have these uncomfortable conversations, these awkward conversations, have those up front. Spell it out in no uncertain terms what your expectations are. And let her tell you whether she with that or not. Because here's my thing to you. I guarantee you every word I've said, she with it. I promise you she's with it. If she pushes back on you, what I'm telling you is she's not telling you that she don't do it. She's telling you that she doesn't think you're worth it. Now, there's a man out there that she's done it for and will do it for, but if she's pushing back on you, she's not saying I won't do it. She's saying, yeah, Lex, I don't think you're worth that.
Yeah. So to the former portion of my conversation with the women that are starting to have these mental breakdowns, now that they're hitting 30 or 35. What I'm noticing is like a guilt trip aspect to it. So I think I just want you to kind of speak to it, just how you could maneuver those conversations, especially if you're dealing with a woman in her 30s. Because I've seen it come up a few times. It's just like, oh, I want kids now. Like, what are we doing? And you know how it is, like from previous broadcasts. But I feel like it's just happening a lot more today.
Well, I mean, what exactly is the demand that you're referring to here? Just having children, or what exactly?
If it's not children, it's a long-term commitment. If it's not that, it's like more level of access to you. Or if it's not that, it's outright asking for money. So
yeah,
I'm just
okay. Number one,
I say no exactly, but still.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Number one, you don't ever let a female hit you up for money. If she does, you let her know she's completely out of line. And at that point right there, she can't be your girlfriend. She can't be your girlfriend. She cannot be. You got to move her in a rotation or whatever. She can't be there. If she tries something like that, she's letting you know, I see you as a resource. Because she got 2 arms and 2 legs and she can work just like you. When she starts applying the pressure that she needs to get unearned direct financial contribution from you for being the same woman she's always been now. She's not doing anything or becoming something greater in value, but all of a sudden you need to do a whole lot more. Don't let folks sit up here and pressure you with that. The worst negotiator is the one who is afraid to get up and walk away from the table. Fellas, the worst negotiator is the one who doesn't have the nerve to get up and walk away from the table. When I talk about that being desperate thing I was referring to, that's what I mean. That she's saying crazy stuff to you and you ain't getting up and walking away from the table. She can see you're not willing to do it. All that does is encourage her. Well, let me see how far I can press this. Let me see how far I can push this. So you cannot let that happen if for nothing more than to clearly communicate that this is a no-go zone. I'm not no damn resource. I'm not a resource. Nip that in the bud from the beginning. And once she does that, okay, rotation, here you go. But she can't be steady. She can't be number one. When that one happens, that's a zero tolerance. I'm just letting you know that's not going to go away. That's not going to go away.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, thank you again, Brother Jason. I know you got a lot of callers, so be one us.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. And the other thing about having kids or whatnot, once again, fellas, come in the front door saying exactly what it is. If you're looking for a side chick, say that. If you're looking for a girlfriend, say that. Stop sitting up here trying to sell females on you gonna be steady. I can see having kids. Man, stop that garbage. That's what cowards do. You're cowardly. You're making promises you can't keep. That's coward stuff. Sit there understand something. Women respect the man who, if you want to be a player, women respect the player who stands on it. Because you fellas get upset when the females sit up here and go home with the players. What, you trying to be Mr. Nice Guy Poindexter? She respects him. He's not a feckless liar. You sitting over here pretending to be Mr. Nice Guy, knowing you lying your ass off. You have no intention of being exclusive to her. If you're exclusive to her, it's only because you can't get anything else. So fellas, if that's not who you are, make sure you've done your self-work, make sure your value is there, and then tell her exactly what the hell it's gonna be. Say exactly what it's going to be. Hey, I ain't looking for no kids. I ain't looking for no marriage. You can do what you're gonna do. You can do what you're going to do, but I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not to sit up here and ring you in, baby, on account of the fact that, I'm the trophy here. So but furthermore, I'm a grown-ass man. I'm not going to lie to some female. You lied to somebody that you're afraid of. I'm not afraid of you. Here's what the deal is. If you want to kick it with me, if you want to be with me, you want to be around me, here's what it is. I'm never going to lie to you. I'm never going to ring you in. I'm never going to make you believe something that's not true. If I tell you, you mind your manners, you act right, and you gonna get XYZ, that's what the hell gonna happen. That's the kind of relationship you're supposed to have with women. Grown folks relationships. If you want to take her somewhere, all expenses paid, because she's earned that, because it's time to feed the troops. If she's done what she's supposed to do and it's time to feed the troops, then you make sure your troops stay fed. If she's done what she's supposed to do. But you're setting the tone that you don't lie to her, and so the consequences will be severe if she lies to you. It's like, oh, you cut off. We don't do that lying stuff here. I've never lied to you. You're not gonna lie to me. On account of the fact that, fellas, when a woman lies, she puts your life in danger. Your life, your money, your resources, your well-being. A female lying puts your life in danger. You cannot afford to have a lying female around you. A lying female is worthless. A lying female is treacherous. A lying female is a hazard. You cannot afford to have a dishonest female around you. You come in the door saying, this is the tone I'm setting. And you will get with this, or you will get gone, whichever you choose. Trust me, I won't be alone. But let it be what it's going to be. Fellas, stop trying to sit up here and waste your time. Every female who comes by, you're going to try to collect them. That's called hoarding. Your job is to find the one who is compatible with the program. Not to be so desperate that everyone you encounter, let me figure out what I got to say, what lie I have to tell, what hoodwinking I have to do to get her to get with the program. No, you're looking for the candidate who is already mind, body, and soul in tune with the program. About that thing about babies, let me tell y'all something right now. Women don't care about children like that. Did you just say that? I sure did.
And deal with it, nigga.
Women sit up here and have children for a county check. They have children for a green card. They have kids to trap a nigga. They want you to believe that they are head over heels worshiping children. Oh yeah, and who is it who's marching left and right into the damn abortion clinics? The men are trying to get the abortion clinics shut down. It's the females sitting up here talking about abortion clinics. And then when you tell her that you don't want to have children, all of a sudden she starts screeching and squealing. Because she understands that the only way that she can use the system against you is a marriage ring or a baby. She's trying to figure out how weak you are. When you say, yeah, I ain't interested in neither one of those, you and I are going to deal with each other as equals, she starts squealing. Wait a minute, you got to give me my leverage on account of the fact that you're so valuable, just in case I need some extra leverage to hold you down. Your job is to show, hey, I don't just fall for things like that. Now I'm good. I'm good with no marriage. I'm good with no kids. I'm good. Maybe you want to be somewhere else, but I'm good. Go right ahead and do that. But fellas, don't let them sit up here and play that game on you. Too many of you fellas, y'all sit up here and will just say anything to a female. You'll say anything. You'll tell her anything you think she wants to hear, including painting yourself into a corner with lies that you cannot possibly uphold. And as a man, that's pathetic. You don't put yourself in a bad situation. You tell her exactly what it is because you're leading. You just get up and you lead. You show her what the program is and also what the benefits are of being with you. And I'm not talking about leading with financial benefits, but they should be there. And if everything is in place, more often than not, they're going to get with it. And if they don't, that's okay too. She's not the right candidate. You don't want somebody who, here's the other thing I want men to understand. You don't want somebody who's saying yes today and then fighting with you next week, which is what most men end up with. You say whatever lie you got to tell, sit up here and say whatever falsehood you got to say. You got her to say yes today, and next week it's damn me battle royal. Because she ain't really with it. Now you just wasted time. Stop trying to grab everybody. Get the one who's tuned in with your program. She's going with it. And then you just roll with that. Stop trying to sit up here and get anybody and everybody. If she says no, she's done you a favor because you ain't looking for the one who's going to say no next week. Caller Miracle Code 716. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
It's Marvin from Niagara Falls, New York.
Marvin from Niagara Falls. What's on your mind?
Man, this 50-50 topic has been really hitting home, and even the last little segment that you just made, the monologue there, where you were saying how you got to be honest, man. I've experienced a lot of hardships or issues just by trying to call myself protecting the woman's feelings rather than just being straight up and down on what I wanted. So you always are better off just honestly just laying on the table. You know what I mean? You got to be straight up and down honest with these women. You cannot hold back or try and spare feelings or none of that craziness. You got to be straight up and down. It's going either they're going to take it or they're going to leave it. It got to be kind of like that mentality.
Well, you know, here's the issue, though. The issue is basic men must lie. Basic men cannot afford to be honest. If a basic man were honest, what he would have to say is, he ain't taking you nowhere. He's not taking you anywhere. You're not going anywhere. You're not going to elevate. You will be the same woman that he found you as. You will have no life-changing experiences. You will have no improving experiences. You're going to be right where he left you. Right where he left you. You'll be the same woman. You won't see anything new. You won't do anything new. You won't meet anyone new. You will be the same female. Your finances will be the same. Your life is going to be the same. A basic man, and most men are basic, the majority of men are basic, not just average, basic. They can't afford to be honest. They can't afford that, because then you would have to say that part. And what woman wants to sign up for that? Even if she's not worthy and not eligible for something better, still, who wants to sign up for a job that's signs you up and says stagnation? What you get today, this is all it's ever going to be. Who wants that?
Not a person on this planet, man. I wish a job would tell me something like that.
So as men, most men cannot afford to be honest. They can't afford to say exactly what it is. Here's the other thing. Most men don't have an agenda. They don't actually have a purpose for the female in their life other than that woman giving him sex if he needs it. And hopefully she can cook something. He doesn't actually have an agenda because he doesn't have an agenda going in his life. This is why when I gave you all the standard of doubling your income every 24 to 36 months, that's a man with an agenda. An agenda that's taking up so much of him and consuming so much of him that the female is actually an accessory. Most men today don't operate that way. They operate like dogs. Everything is guttural and primal. Sex, food, sleep, repeat. As opposed to, here's what I'm accomplishing and building in this world and improving. When a man already has an agenda and a program of his own, he's looking for a female who plugs into and complements and enhances that agenda. Most men don't have an agenda. Most men's agenda is just this Groundhog's Day. Eat, sleep, sex, repeat. And when a female figures out that that's what you are, now she becomes disenchanted and the fellas are just stuck all over again. So the other thing I would add to what you were saying there is that most men cannot be honest because they don't actually have an agenda. They're not taking her anywhere because he isn't going anywhere.
You're right. You're right about that. I mean, when you have an agenda, it helps with discernment. So now when you out dating with women, you can tell on early on, oh, no, you're not going to fit with the program. Let me go ahead and put you to the side.
Right, but the reason you can say that is because you have something to vet them for. Sex is a biological function. That doesn't really require vetting. Doubling your income every 24 to 36 months, increasing your status, her being your feminine representative in the company of men you don't know, her ability to enhance what you're building. Whoa, that's a program. So when you and her sit down and you see her in public, when you take her to a restaurant, you are seeing how she represents you as her feminine representative in public. You're seeing how she interacts with strangers, people who can do things to help you or do things to harm you. Let's see how she does it with the wait staff. Now, these are not people who can hurt your income, but what you want to see is her ability to interact with other people to enhance you. Is she your female counterpart? When you talk to them, if you got the waitresses sitting up here laughing and giggling and your woman is sitting over there like a damn statue, your ears need to go up. How suitable is she for what I do? If one of us is outgoing and capable and the other one is an introvert and awkward, you got to start making some decisions. But then again, that depends on if you have a program. So you're not just taking her out to eat because you're hungry. This is also part of the evaluation process. Most men ain't doing that. You're taking her out to eat as a prelude to sex, as opposed to let me find out how suitable you are for everything other than sex.
Yeah, I even judge women based on what I like to ask them, how much do you think I should tip? Because I want to know how much were you paying attention to the wait staff? What type of service do you think you got? And I want to know if you're on the same page as me. I want you to order my food this time. Let me know how you're going to interact with this waitress, especially when it's a pretty one. I want to know how you're going to interact with her, because the first thing they do is the pretty ones that look at the man, giggle and laugh with him, ignore the girl, and then the girl get mad and mess up the whole night. I can't have you doing that. You got to understand how to play through that.
Well, I'll give you another one to think about here, for example, based on what you just said right there. Here's one in particular that I look for. I want to take a look here. If I go to a store, if I go to a restaurant or someplace like that, I want to see if the females who work there are complimenting the chick I came in with. I look for that in particular. I was at a place here a little while ago, and when I walked in, a whole bunch of white girls, as a matter of fact, and they were looking at my chick and asking her if she was a model. I'm not saying that to brag. What I'm saying is, okay, that verifies just that quickly. She represents me well. She represents me well. So you see, when I talk, you can hear the way I talk. I understand that, but then you see my feminine representative with me. It's like, okay, he attracts people around him who are like that. He's operates at a certain level. He's got people around him who are like that. So she's confirmation. Even if you don't believe me, take a look at her. Listen to, I don't just mean look at her, listen to her also. Look at the way she dresses, look at the way she talks, look at the way her hair is. She's his feminine representative. That matters tremendously, because that shows you whether or not this person is actually with your program right there. I would give that to you as another dimension. I'll let you have the last word.
Absolutely. Man, I thank you for the programs. For those of you out there that's listening, make sure y'all understand you have to get a program. If you don't have a program, go listen to the business. Go back to episode 1 if you need to. Go back. Jason will tell you how to get a program tailored towards you. Doubling your income every 24 months. I never even thought of that. And as soon as I started hearing the business, I left my one job, got to another job, increase. Got to this job, already got promotions, increase. So I'm already having a laser focus on what exactly I want to do to double my income. And it's getting me a program to where when I see a woman or when I'm in the dating market, I'm like, hey, if you're not helping contribute towards this program, you can't be around. And you have to have that level of discernment, and you got to ignore your sexual urges. You'll get past that as you get older. I'm 33, and I'm way past that. I'm at the point where at this point, sex is not the first thing. It's like third or fourth at this point. I need to know where you at and how you plug in my program. So y'all make sure y'all focus on that program, and you'll watch everything else fall into place.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Having a program is critical and key, because otherwise you don't know what you're vetting the person for. What are you doing any type of checking for? What are we examining them for? Until you have something to plug them into, you can't really make a calculation of how well they should be there. That matters a lot. Caller from area code 650. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from? Okay. Caller from area code 650 has been abducted. Caller from area code 708. You're on live with the business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This Sean, I'm in Deerfield, Illinois.
Okay, if you're on speaker or Bluetooth, we're getting a lot of background noise.
This Sean from Deerfield, Illinois.
All right, Sean, up there in Illinois, what's on your mind?
Yeah. For the relationship part, I'm a basic chick. I do the 50-50 to alleviate any kind of burden on my man, and my man gonna do the same with the 50. But
there you go, Sean. Now that's what we needed to hear. Look at her. She's accepting her position in life. Now this is called a break. This is called a breakthrough, Sean. This is a breakthrough. Please continue.
Yes, sir. As far as the DA go, speaking of the DA, the media doing this conditioning thing again with highlighting the DA is paying 50-50 and out with her boyfriend, not husband. These are people in authority for the judicial system.
So, what's your point? This is her boyfriend, not her husband. Okay, so.
Okay, so again, so I wanted to kind of veer toward another topic thing here. The DA, it was a case in Ohio. It was a case in Ohio with a 17 and an 18-year-old couple, and they had cammed up. The girl got pulled over. They had cammed up on live while the police was asking him, like, "Hey, when you get out of jail?" He was like, "I don't know." And then he also said, what? Sorry about the delay.
Okay, Sean, we got a lot of babbling. We got a lot of babbling going on here, baby. Did you have a question?
I got a concern with the DA, since the DA is on the topic. So the boy was asking, why you keep pulling me over? I wanted to highlight, when a person get pulled over and charged with anything, he had just got out of jail not too long ago. This is an untold story. You wouldn't know unless you went through it. When people get pulled over and get convicted of a crime, even if they filed the case, the person would still get pulled over like 6 months to a year. So it wouldn't be harassment. It's a loophole in the system. Where
okay,
they don't
Sean, what the? Sean, okay, how is that relevant to what we're talking about here tonight? Are you drinking?
No, what I'm trying to say is the DA got a job to do, and it ain't treating her boyfriend or nothing. It's to highlight the people issues. That's the concern.
Okay, and when she's not at her job, then what?
Then we still seeing this trending events of people in authority, like in Harvey, misallocating funds where they ain't supposed to go, which making black people as though we just see even in the higher up parts. You know what I'm saying?
No, forget that. Let me get the one I really want to get over here.
Okay.
All right. Sean is all over the place babbling and totally off subject here. So her and that Hennessy are making it do what they do. Okay, let me go ahead and deal with this right quick, because fellas, here's another one that they try to use on you all the time. Just like I've dissected this about when the female talk about what she won't do, what she will, just like I've dissected this about the real value of children, let me go ahead and deal with this boyfriend versus husband thing. Let me explain to you the female psyche. Oh, ladies, y'all gonna hate me tonight. I got to read the mail. Fellas, understand something. A woman would far more rather have 5 years of a stomped down rock rib built from the ground up alpha male. She would rather have 5 years with you than a lifetime with a beta simp or with second best. Now here's the dirty little secret. It doesn't even have to be a beta simp. She would rather have 5 years with you as a top tier man, solid across the board. She'd rather have 5 years with you, making dreams come true, opening her eyes, making new experiences, transforming her into a new woman. She would rather have 5 years with you than 5 decades with second, third, or fourth best. Now that's reality. Women fantasize about that. Let me tell y'all something. If you are Mr. Beta Simp at home, your woman is fantasizing about that guy who gave her that whirlwind, rock and roll, thunderstorm 5 years of her life. Why do you think so many of them think back to college? That nostalgia. Why do you think that is? Take a look at your romance novels. The romance novels are never women fantasizing over Mr. Spend the rest of your life. The romance novels are always about Mr. Rolling Stone, fly by night, zooming in, striking excitement. That's who they're about. 50 Shades of Grey. That ain't about nobody trying to keep you around forever like that. So that's a line that they feed you. Once again, it gives her leverage. But that's not for her consumption, it's for yours. She wants you to believe that marriage is the end-all be-all of everything. Meanwhile, the bastard baby maker rate is out of this damn world.
Auntie, chill.
If women really believed in marriage like that, why the hell we got so many damn single moms overrunning us? If they care about marriage like that, and they're not young single moms, these hoes, did you say hoes? I sure did.
Deal with it, nigga.
These hoes in their late 20s and 30s telling you that I need marriage now. Meanwhile, have absolutely no damn problem having 3 or 4 bastard kids by a dude who never even approached the damn altar. You're the one being fed that line. If this were truly a principle for her, then she would be living that. We would not be drowning in broke down single moms today if that wasn't the truth. She would rather have a rock and roll, life-changing, evolutionary 5 years with her boyfriend than 5 decades with a fella who is stagnant. She would rather spend the rest of her life fantasizing about those 5 years with you than the 5 boring ass decades she's gonna have with Mr. Magoo. But it's true. Women live for that. Most of you guys who've been married, you know full well your chick was pining for another dude. You know she was thinking, Jada Pinkett is not rare. That's why so many females support her. Because Jada is the rule. She's not the exception. Jada is the female culture. And the biggest lie they feed you is trying to bludgeon you to death about marriage. As if that's the end all and be all, just like they try to bludgeon you about kids. No, they only care about kids when it's to their benefit, and they care about marriage when it's to their benefit. If it's not to their benefit, they tell you real quick, I'm about my career. You see, when she down and out on her ass and she's tired of working, or she's tired of working, if the workforce didn't work for her when she was young, or she old and trying to get out, all of a sudden she wants to get married. But if you're a fella who's like, okay, here are the rules. When you marry me, all of a sudden, I need to keep my job. Oh, so you about marriage when it's convenient and you're against it when it's not convenient. Fellas, stop letting yourselves get played. Stop letting yourself get played. I'm not saying that you cannot get married. I'm not saying you shouldn't get married. I'm not saying you can't have kids. I'm not saying you shouldn't have kids. I'm saying don't be played for a sucker. Don't be played for a fool. Women sit up here and drag those words out when they think that they can bully you and knuckle you under into submission. But then you take a look at the rest of their lives. A chick wouldn't have a body count in the dozens if marriage was that serious to her. How the hell is it you 27 years old and done slept with 30, 40, 50 dudes? If marriage is that important and you, being a boyfriend is a slur and you done had 50 of them. What? They trying to make you fellas think being a boyfriend's a slur and she done had 50 of them. Talking to you crazy. Seeing if you're gonna go for it. So let me get this straight. The other 50 niggas didn't have to give you nothing but a damn Tootsie Roll and a pat on the damn head and got to lay up with you for years, but I got to make a lifetime commitment after all of them. So they didn't have to do none of that, but somehow I have to? Oh, you run a scam. You run a scam. Fellas, don't let them sit up here and play you for an idiot. If you're going to go into it and agree to it for the reality it is, on the terms that it is, not for something that it isn't. That's all I'm telling you. I'm not telling you don't say yes. I'm saying if you do say yes with your eyes wide open and know exactly what it is you're saying yes to. Call of Miracle 415. You're on live with The Business. What's your name? Where you calling from?
It's Marcus from San Francisco.
Marcus from San Francisco. What's on your mind?
Hey, I was over the holiday season. We had family over, and cousins. Because my cousin's from Mississippi. Believe it or not, everybody knows you. We were listening to you. He's only 20 years old. My auntie is 60. And she overheard, your program, and I was explaining, we were, bumping our, going back and forth, me and my cousin talking about how, how we thought about what you said and all that stuff. And she's like, she's 60-something years old. She's like, my phone never stopped ringing. I got a bunch of men always calling me and always trying to DM me and all this stuff. And I'm like, my auntie's like 60 years old, overweight and, all that stuff. I love her and all, but yeah. But anyway, she is, the reason I bring that up to you is because, believe it or not, that's the mindset of a lot of even older women. She's just the one who's just honest and told us to our face that, hey, I'm 60 years old. Men still call my phone. Men are still trying to lay up with me. Men are still
but the issue isn't there are men on every female's phone on the earth. There's scavenger males on every female's phone on earth. The question isn't, is there a man on your phone? The question is, what quality and caliber of man is on your phone, Granny?
Auntie, chill. I can agree with you there, yeah.
The conversation will get real quiet. She's 60 years old. She overweight. She's sloppy. There's men calling me. Yeah, that's right. Fellas on work release. The fellas on parole. The fella who's escaped from the mental institution. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you got a few dudes on your damn phone. It's nothing that anybody would compete over, and you shouldn't be calling attention to it because you don't want folks taking pictures. So it's like, yeah, the question isn't do you have a man on your phone? The question is, do you have anything anybody would want on your phone? Or do you have the trash?
I didn't think of that. That's a good answer. I didn't think of that at the time. I was just thinking. I was like,
I've been telling y'all this now for going on 2 decades, but I've been saying it the whole time. The question: every woman can get a man on her phone. The question is, do you have a man that people would actually want, or do you have the trash on your phone?
You're right, because when I did ask her about it the next day or the day after, she basically has a old guy, and I don't know if he's retired, whatever, but he's older than her. So I'm guessing he's in his 60s, he's like 60, 70, whatever. Yeah, he's an older man. She's like, the older man is better. That's what she kept on saying. But yeah.
She got the dude she took the dude who would take her and then trying to act like that's a flex.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, you're right. Thank you for. Like I said, I just don't. Maybe I don't think that quick, but that's a good answer. Yeah, you're right. Now that I think about it, the quality of dude is. He's probably. They're probably married or they ain't talking about. Yeah.
Women who ain't got nothing going for themselves, they love to brag on the man they're with right up until you ask a few questions. Then they don't want to say nothing else.
Also, really quick, I was looking at me personally. There was an Instagram thing. They said it was viral, but I saw it. But anyway, there was a younger lady. She was telling me that I'm not telling me. I was on Instagram that she was telling the world that one of the benefits of dating an older man is even if he's married is she would get a life insurance policy on him and that he'll pay for it. And even though he's married, it's not a big deal as long as she's getting benefits, as long as he's taking her places, giving her money, paying her bills, X, Y, Z. I mean, like I said, I look at that stuff and I know that's how a lot of women think. I just want to know what you think about that.
Like I say, the two groups that these women target are the real young and the real old. The young dudes whose sex is new to them, or the old dudes who've been on the outside for so long with no options that they'll take anything because they're in a desperate drought. and he doesn't have youth, vitality, or productivity to present or bargain with anymore, all he got's a pension. That's all he got. You see, a young man can bargain with his potential. He can bargain with his work ethic. An older dude, he can't do that. So he's just got to trade on what he got. The only problem is that's never a good thing. As an older man, and a lot of these older cats is like they're uncompetitive. So he's just like, well, screw it. If she for the money, let it just be that. Well, that's not a good thing either. Because if a woman only sees you as a walking paycheck, then you're missing the most important element of all, respect. Because she can get your money without you. So there is no relationship that is worth it entering into it where respect isn't paramount. If that woman doesn't admire you as a man, if she doesn't look up to you as a man, once again, we got a problem. We got a problem. If she needs your finances but doesn't admire the man, that's a problem. The other thing is, all these damn pension pimps. Let me tell you, brother, these pension pimps getting broke left, right, and center. They're getting played for idiots all over the damn place. He worked his whole damn life and then just dropped it off. They're being made fools and clowns of. They are not getting anything worth bragging over. They ain't getting that. They're getting the soup cans and the tuna cans and the one-use plastics. They're getting those. Folks like you, like your 60-year-old auntie, your grandma, whatever, they're getting them. They're not getting anything that other men are competing for. They're not getting anything that other men are really trying to have. So he's worked his whole damn life basically to get run is it. I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Yep, I see. I do now that part. I do see, and the only thing is I just know about this is one guy in particular in her case, and he happens to be, like you just said, a truck driver, and I don't know if he has a pension or not, but he has something coming in, and as soon as he wasn't getting what he wanted out of her, here's the thing. This is the thing that only confuses me. He cut her off. Oh, he did. But the thing about it, he just lingers around and still hangs around. But he doesn't do anything for her. And I'm just surprised that she allows it. Usually I thought that she wouldn't respect him. As soon as the money dries up,
dude,
he should dry up.
She ain't got a choice. All that tough talk she doing, all that big talk she doing, she ain't calling no shots. As I said, she got to take the man who'll take her. And without me getting into an awkward, icky thing here, I got to remind you of something, brother. Now, did you say this was your aunt or your grandmother?
Auntie.
Okay. He's doing things with your auntie that you ain't doing. He is filling a place in her life that you're not filling. He does things and has activities with her that you simply don't. So his relationship to her is completely different from your relationship to her. So what I'm saying is she's talking to her nephew with a bunch of jive ass talk because there are no repercussions for it, because you don't really have the ability to punish her for being disreputable or disrespectful or whatever. You don't really have the ability to punish her. He does, on account of the fact that she wants something from him that she don't want from you. So him pulling out, that is the punishment mechanism. And it doesn't hurt him, nor does it cost him anything to orbit. What he's done is he's given her a demotion. She's been demoted. And now he's like, you know what? I'll see you when I come through. You might have used to be my chick for a minute, but now I think I'll just see you when I tiptoe through. When I bring a load through town, I'll holler and see if you buying on the day I'm selling or selling on the day I'm buying. And that's what it is now. So just understand what's happened. She got demoted. Now he's just orbiting and he's cool. If he's got clearance to land when he come through town, he's good. And if he doesn't have clearance to land, he's good too. You know why? Because when the wheels roll out, there's another chick somewhere else. He's a truck driver. That's what they do. Now she belongs to the game. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. I mean, that's just what it is. You're her nephew, so she talking to you crazy. But to the men that she actually expects to do something for him, is she got to act different when she get over there. She got to act different over there. Let me go ahead and get over here on Zoom. I got my man Prince out of Richmond over here on Zoom. What's on your mind, brother?
Jason, one of the young men brought up an excellent point, my brother. Excellent. I want to ask you about, he was talking about having a woman on a program. What are some of the basic rules in setting up a program for a woman? Yes. I know it has to do with the woman who you're dealing with, but is it any factors dealing with the other women that you have in your life?
No, the main factor is you. You have to have the program and you have to be the program. She just plugs into it. That's like asking, what are the things you got to do to have an electrical outlet? Have an electrical outlet.
Just have it
you are the program. She
right.
Either fits into the program or she doesn't. Once you have the program, it writes itself where she got to be.
So that's where the honesty comes in at. Okay. Now, when you were talking about what is your tolerance when you're dealing with immaturity from women, you said that's just not to be tolerated at all.
Well, women always have a level of immaturity to them. That's what makes them women. So we're not here to change women. That's not what we're trying to do. Disrespect, however, now that's a different matter.
Yes, sir.
Now that's a different matter. That's something you were taught not to do as children. Exactly. Disrespect is something a woman does when she does not value you. She's trying to test you and see how much she can get away with. It is imperative that you make it very clear, that's a zero tolerance event. That's not a multi-use event. That's zero tolerance. Just like old dude who got off the phone, that truck driver done been with enough women in enough places, he knew what to do. As soon as she gets disrespectful, demotion. All of them, you didn't change. You different. No, I'm not different. You are demoted. That's why it feels different. I'm not going to fool with you the same way. Women check to see if you're going to keep doing the same thing. It's like, okay, if you tell her don't do this and then she does that and then nothing changes, nothing happens. She's like, okay, now she doesn't believe anything you say.
Exactly.
She's looking for the fellow who says that and he stand on it. She sees she can get away with that and that's it, you're done. That's why men need to understand the protocol for dealing with those things. I'm not telling you to necessarily get rid of her, although that might be a great idea as well, but definitely she needs to be demoted. She cannot retain the same position she's in because otherwise there is no deterrent and you're not taken seriously.
Okay.
And this will only lead to worse things.
Now, Jason, you were talking about money is your love language because money can drive women insane. Could you kind of clarify what, when it's dealing with a woman so that they don't, oh yes, money is my love language. Can you let them know that this is a type of exchange? This is not one way. I think
no, I don't think that. I don't even think you have to say that right there. I think you covered that when I'm saying money is my love language. I'm looking for a woman who sees things the same way.
Gotcha.
What's understood don't gotta be explained. And if you have to do that and whatnot, this is gonna be a problem. This is gonna be a problem if you gotta spell it out in boxcar letters, brother. She heard you the first time.
Yes, they always.
She knew what you meant the first damn time. So that's the other thing is men got to have very little patience and tolerance for folk playing games.
You got to be willing to walk away from the table.
Well, I'm saying that as a man, if you being straight up and saying this is what it is, and you dealing with her straight, and she's starting, okay, let me see if I can be devious and let me try to be slick. It's like, okay, that's why you have to have the ability to say, we ain't doing that. We're not doing that at all. You heard me the first time when I said what the deal was. You understood it the first time. You trying to see whether or not you can get out of it. Just understand when you get out, you're all the way out. You're not on the edges. You're all the way out. You like the way I do things? You said that you're the same kind of person. I'm not seeing it. She coming to you with a bunch of excuses. Now let's just be clear, baby. I ain't throwing you a bunch of excuses.
No.
I'm not throwing you a bunch of excuses. How the hell you gonna sit up here and claim you on the team and you throwing me excuses? You don't want to hear mine? Guess what? I don't want to hear yours. Now I'll hold your hand and support you if you're going through some things, but just like you expect me to get on my feet, I expect you to be on yours. And by the way, I ain't seen nothing in you. It's never that their finances have changed. She's always giving you a damn sob story. I'm like, you've been working all this damn time. How the hell is it things radically changed? You've been working all this time. It's like, no, you've decided, well, I'm spending enough. Do I need to do all that? Okay, well, just understand, if you don't pay the freight, if you don't pay tribute, somebody else got to. And as men, that's why I'm telling you, hey, if it's time for her to be demoted, it's time to be demoted. You'll get her damn attention when she's calling you not answering. You'll get her damn attention when you buy a new car and that damn thing show up on Facebook with the odometer going up and she ain't in it. I'm just saying, did you hear me when I said that? Since you acting like you don't understand things I've explained to you before, did you hear that one?
Jason, have you ever run into a woman you were driving one of your new lady friends in one of the new cars you got her in, and you ran past one of your old chicks? Have that ever happened?
Oh, righty then.
Dude, has it?
I know they probably put those T-bone your car.
Well, not exactly T-bone the car, because they know don't play with my cars, don't play with any of those, period. Let's not even try that. But I will just say that when if they ever caught up with me, it's like, okay, it's an issue. I've talked about that before. It never ends great. But here's the other thing about it. I ain't going to back off of it. That's happened to me 2 times. And I'm telling you stuff tonight I shouldn't be saying. It's happened to me 2 times, but I'm going to tell you something else. I didn't drive off with her. I still drove off with the other chick. I didn't drive off with her. Oh, no, when you got out, you out. Now, remember, in one case, it was a damn vehicle I bought. You already know about that, Prince. That was one I bought. She's sitting up here chasing me down the damn street in a truck I'm paying for. In a truck I'm making payments on.
Is that the meltdown chick? The one that meltdown?
One of them, but yeah, that's the big one we talked about there before. But that was her. In a damn vehicle I done paid for. But guess what? I didn't leave with her. Wow. I didn't leave with her. The other chick, when I did drive out, she was like, I had to tell her what the man told me back in the days. She said, aren't you worried about the navigator? I said, let's stay far and worry about the navigator. But my bottom line is, I got to show you that too. As a matter of fact, you're going to take me seriously. You're going to take me seriously. I'm not playing no games about it. You're going to take me seriously. And as men, you got to show that you can do that. So every once in a while, that kind of thing is happening. Let's be clear. She knew what the deal was. Now, she knew what the deal was. If she thought somehow, he's not that serious, or I'm going to play these games and I'm so valuable that he's going to knuckle under. It's like, oh, no. Just do what you do. Do whatever you do there. You go ahead and do that, but it's going to roll on regardless. Yeah. And let's be clear. This was all explained to her from day one.
See, and something that Jason has always said, I want y'all to understand, guys, especially the youngsters, that you don't allow women to have a bone of contention. He wasn't worried about the vehicle that she was driving because he has it insured. I'm pretty sure he has it insured. You don't sweat. You don't let a woman get you upset over inanimate objects. You got to be able to keep your focus, and because a woman will push as many buttons she can till she thinks she got you. Never let a woman have a bone of contention. You just handle your business and already be prepared. Now, Jason, you were saying that about don't take orders from a woman. Some women try to be deceptive and manipulative, and in the way they try to approach you, like with the young man, she was saying she wanted to go out to eat at a certain place, but then had him paying for it. That's almost like giving them orders. You're going to take me to these high-end restaurants without saying it. Or how do you see that differently?
Yeah, it can be. It depends on the female, her track record, how she's comported herself and everything else. It depends on that. So I wouldn't necessarily see that as a hostile thing or giving orders, but it's going to depend on those factors there. But you certainly should, if it's coming at you wrong, you damn sure need to be watching. I'm more concerned about, is she getting benefits that she hasn't earned? Is she paying tribute? Are we feeding the troops, or are we just conceding to somebody's demands? So there's where I draw the line. Back to what you were saying here before about the truck and everything. Let me be clear about something else here. That was what she wanted, not me.
Oh,
brother, I already got what I want. I'm serious. That's why a man got to take care of himself there first. So when you do start expanding these other things, you're not lacking. I already got what I wanted. I already got that, dude. When you're talking about the Cadillac Escalade V, when you're talking about, the Yukon, we're talking about those things. Those are things I wanted. Those are things I wanted. We're talking about Range Rover. Those are things I wanted. So that's what I wanted, but that wasn't what she wanted.
Right.
So when I went and bought that, I bought what she wanted. She wanted dark exterior, light interior, all Corinthian leather, executive package, panoramic roof. She wanted all that. So I wasn't really worried about the truck because I'm like, that's the one she's been dreaming of. That was what she wanted to have. So yeah. I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna say what I'm thinking right now, but I'm just saying, well, worry a little less. But my thought process in that all is I'm the insurance policy, because as a man, what usually happens is fellas don't give anything valuable.
Yes.
You don't extend that kind of value. The stuff that really goes, first of all, you don't have a chick who's got nothing to lose. So you don't have a chick around you who is bottom of the barrel, down and out, and got nothing to lose. When you have that around, that's when you got real problems. And I don't really specialize in keeping around chicks who ain't got nothing to lose. They have a life of their own. They might not be happy or thrilled all the time with some of the things they see or hear, but they got a life of their own.
Okay. Right.
So you can't have any real value to me if you're trying to figure out what that is. You're not a grown woman if you don't. My job is to take that person who's got something there and take it to the next level. That's what I do. So these are things you couldn't do on your own. That's where that comes from. And furthermore, I play by the rules. I meant what I said. When I hand you these keys, that's it. I'm not coming to snatch them from you, not because I'm upset with you, because we did have a blowout before that even happened. I didn't come back over there and make a beeline to come take the damn key fobs. I didn't do anything. Right. When I said you got that, as long as we are together, these key fobs, as long as we're together, you got that.
That's
period.
Maturity.
So I don't play those kind of bull jive ass games. The average beta nigga out here, where you at? I want my fives back. Man, that's not me. That's it. That's not me. But the other thing is, by the way, is I can't drive one of them at a damn time. I can't drive 3 of these damn trucks at once, no matter how much of my I can't drive them all at once. I can only drive one at a time. So with that being the case, that's how I'm really living about it. So that's why I can be that way about it. But the other thing is, that is the benefit you get. Now, worst case scenario, if you do something extra industrial strength stupid,
yes,
and you damage that truck, just understand, I hope you enjoyed it, because it'll be the last damn one you ever see. That'll be the last time you ever see anything like this in your life. Period. Because that's not going to be, we're not going to have 2 incidents like that.
Right.
That's not going to be no 2 incidents. If something like that ever did occur where I've done all that and you got exactly what you wanted after all these years, and that's how you treat it, just understand, if it does come to that, that'll be the last time you ever see it. That's the last time you'll ever experience it. And let me tell you, to this day, that's the last time they ever experienced it. Now, they didn't damage the truck. They tried to damage me later. But they didn't damage the truck. They didn't succeed. But I mean, they tried to damage me later. But that's the way I treat it in that regard. And I think that when men actually have something, when women can see you're not wigged out about that, that's manhood. You can't say stoicism and you're panicking.
Okay.
You can't be stoic and at the same time panicking. You can't be stoic and at the same time emotional. You can't be stoic and at the same time begging. You can't be that. So you have to demonstrate that walking in the door.
Okay. Now, Jason, this is from what I've learned from you and what I kind of know. So when a man has you got to have a purpose for a woman, an agenda, and it should be clearly defined, and it should be stated up front. Are there any indicators, and when I say that, to make sure that a woman is abiding by the agenda? Do you look for is it over time, or is it just based on her behavior alone?
Well, I mean, certainly you should see whether or not she's enhancing what you're doing, but first you need to be doing something. See, this is where retirees get things screwed up. Retirees can't really evaluate women because he's done doing anything.
Yes.
He's done building, he's done competing. So he don't know what's coming or going on account of the fact he's done building anything. So he can't see an obvious traitor when they walk in the damn door. He can't see it on account of the fact that his income is already spoken for and just given to him. So he's no longer protecting it, but his life has lost purpose. So he's vulnerable to whatever comes through the door smiling at him. He's lost his edge. He's also lost his senses. There's where the problem comes in. So with a female, it's not so much about signs, it's about you. Women, we call it submissive, but the real thing is compatibility. A woman is supposed to be competing to be compatible with the strongest, best male. She's supposed to be showing, the man is supposed to show the other men that he's the top dog, and the female is supposed to show the alpha male that she's the best female for him. That's how that's supposed to work. So she's supposed to sit up here and demonstrate to you, hey, I'm your best option. They do it at their damn jobs every day. But as men, you've gotten used to the idea that they're supposed to be doing something for their jobs that they don't do for you. No, it works exactly the same damn way. If you are what she wants, she's supposed to be demonstrating to you, I'm your best option. And then not just talking in words, by showing it to you. Because you know damn well, when the female wants to take another chick's man, first thing she does is show him anything she can do, I can do better. That's how that works. Any problems you have out of her, they make things smooth and frictionless. So it's not that they don't know. It is that if they stop doing it, it's because they don't want to. But if she wants you, things are going to be smooth. It's going to be frictionless. She's going to take a look at what you're doing. She's analyzing what you're interested in. And because she's into you, she into that. Guys aren't used to that kind of thing. But if she's into you, she's into that. So your television shows, your sports interests, although I suggest it not be football, but the things that you're interested in, some of your eclectic things, your musical tastes, if a female is into you, she's going to be into all of that on account of the fact that that's connected to you. That's what makes you what you are as a man, but also what you dedicated your life to. So whatever you're doing with your life and your business, she wants to know more about that because she wants to be a part of whatever you're doing. Because she's interested in you. So now this has become a new specific area of study that she wants to learn about. Most men are not accustomed to that. They think it's rocket science. And in reality, no, it's not a knowledge gap. It's an enthusiasm gap. Right. She's just not into you. The fella that she into, she's going to start taking the time. She's like, wow, this guy's cool. Why does he like this so much? Then she starts spending just a little time learning about it. And it doesn't take a whole lot because the rest you're going to teach her. All she needs to do is watch it long enough to see why you like it.
Okay.
And that gives her the edge. And from there, she can outcompete anybody else if she wants to. That's what plugs her into the program.
Okay, Jason, I want to circle back to something. You were saying, you said a few things, but I want to circle back to this because it's personal. So if you don't want to answer, it's okay. But I want to know how you as a producer avoided becoming selfish or attached to the objects around you, not letting them define you, meaning that you're willing to share them with the women that you deal with. You feed the troops. Some people become, once they make these achievements, some men, and they're producers, but they're very tight with them. Like, don't want to allow the woman to appreciate them because, like you say, we got to feed the troops. So can a man be a high producer and be selfish? A peak value man?
Well, I mean, I suppose he can, but I got to tell you right there, there's holes in your game when you do.
Okay.
I just put it like this. I've never seen money as something that I pursued. I've tried to pursue excellence and I learned, well, okay, let me rephrase that. I started off like anybody else and I was trying to figure out, okay, how do you make money? Because I wanted to be a guy who made a bunch of money. And throughout my life, I have encountered quite a few millionaires. And it was only once I got into my later years in my 30s that I really figured out what it was because I heard things and what they were saying. I didn't understand it or decipher it. So I made my mission in life to try to decipher it for the rest of you. When these folks tell you here that, well, you know, you don't get rich by chasing money. Well, they're right. What they didn't say was you get rich by chasing excellence. Because it's only by being excellent in something that you can make excellent money. If you're mediocre, you make mediocre money. You're excellent, you make excellent money. But you got to have something that you love and that you're dedicated to so you can become excellent. It's very unlikely you can become excellent in something that you're unenthusiastic about or hate. So what I learned was to instead focus on finding things I was excellent at. And the money makes itself. The money is a side effect of being excellent, of being dedicated, of being disciplined. So like everybody else, I started off trying to chase the money part and then realizing you're doing it backwards. You need to be excellent. The money will bring itself. It sounds counterintuitive. It sounds impossible. Where's the money going to come from? You're thinking too far ahead. Become excellent. The money makes itself. Excellent at what? Okay, that'll be the second question. But first, I have to get you to adopt and own the concept excellence is what makes money, not chasing money. Because that's impossible. Money is a side effect anywhere. Nobody gets money. Money is a result of having done something.
Yes.
I need to get you to understand you need to do something first, then the money comes. So if I can get you to understand that, now I can build a fully functional individual in that regard. Now, my attitude about money, then I realized that, well, money is powerful in my hands, but you know it's more powerful with other people. There was a man I worked with going on 30 years ago. My God, has it been that long? 30 years ago, I was a teenager. He said something I've never forgotten. No, it wasn't the white millionaire. It was one of the black folk I worked with there. Street dude, as a matter of fact. Street dude. Never will forget him. He has said, Jay, money moves people. Mm. He said those three words. By the matter of fact, that's made it into Jason's laws. That's one of my laws. Money moves people. You see, I was sitting up there making a paycheck with him, and I wanted my paycheck, but the real thing was I didn't see it as a two-way street. I didn't understand that, yeah, that moved me, but by the way, it moves other people too. I'm like, well, my paycheck's not as big as our employers. You're missing the damn point. I need you to understand this concept. Money moves people. Okay, well, I don't have as much money as my employer, so what I started doing was cutting my teeth going other places. That's where I started learning about the restaurant game and how to deal with waitresses and waiters. And when I would go to a restaurant, I started noticing that money moves people. So that was where I learned to be a generous tipper. Typically, I tip 50%. Unless you've done something I don't like, in which case you'll probably get nothing. Sometimes you might get 20%, but usually it's going to be 50% or no percent. It's usually going to be that. But that was when I learned then. Wasn't rich, wasn't affluent, but these were attitudes about money I was gaining. So that was why I also learned that, by the way, when they talk about generous tippers or things like that, that's something that you learn because of the character of yourself, not because of your income. That's a product of your character, not your income. So I was doing that back way before I ever became self-employed or anything else. That's just who I am, but also because what I realized was it moved people. And I like that idea of seeing it moves them. So now I'm really hungry to make more money because I see that money does not purchase goods and services. Money purchases goodwill.
So, Jason, I noticed you didn't say how it moved women. You said how it moved people.
Women are people too. Contrary to popular belief and some of their behavior, women are people too.
But I'm talking about, that's what I'm saying. You're not just focusing on women. You're saying move people in general.
Correct. These are rules. These are rules. They're not gender specific. It's not about dating. It's not about your personal affectations. These are rules. These are power dynamics that work with people. If that is a person sitting in front of you, my power dynamics will apply to them. So what I learned was that money moves people. I learned that money doesn't purchase goods and services. That's what you've been told it does. The most powerful dollars don't purchase goods and services. The most powerful dollars purchase goodwill.
Yes.
Tipping is purchasing something. You're purchasing goodwill. Being a shrewd negotiator for cars and stuff, you're purchasing something, you're purchasing goodwill. When I go buy a new car, I make the process as streamlined and seamless for the dealership as I can. I'm purchasing goodwill. I'm setting the tone. When I go to a hotel, I don't just stop and talk to the front desk for no reason. I'm purchasing something. I'm buying something. And I want other folk to understand that this forms your attitude about money. People gravitate to generous people. They run from the stingy and they gravitate to the generous. Notice I didn't say foolish. I did not say foolish.
No, don't be foolish with your money.
I said the generous. People gravitate to generous men in a leadership position who are generous, because we don't just throw money. You got to earn that dollar from me. Yes. You have to have done something to earn that. So this goes to your attitude about money. Now, let's move this over to women, which is what you asked about, because I got to explain all those other things so you can see how I came up and how I came to these understandings of things. Well, how does this specifically apply to where women are concerned? You've explained about people in general. What about women specifically? Women are a fantastic investment.
Yes, but they'll take advantage.
Well, I mean, let's not do that. Women are a fantastic investment. You get a lot more return out of investing in the right woman than you'll ever get out of investing in your car.
No, that's true.
But it has to be the right woman. Well, Jason, what comprises the right woman? She is as invested in you as you are in her, which most men don't know how to do because they refuse to level about what it takes to have a woman fully invested in you. The reason why I say lead with your accomplishments, the reason why I say if you take them on a date or whatever, you lead financially is because you're taking the lead to show that you are invested in them, that you're not just giving lip service. Money's my love language. She speaks the same thing. I'm going here and I'm taking the first steps to set the tone for how things will be. That ain't going to be my last $200 at all. But I am showing her, you in the deep end of the pool, this is how we swim down here.
She's going to follow you.
And I'm going to watch to see if you do or don't. I'm watching to see if you do or don't. I'm not just doing this for symbolism. I'm watching you. When I throw this down, we're going to see what you do next. Brother, that works in gangs, that works in prisons, that works in the military, that works in politics. You was in the military for decades. When y'all do something, you checking to see what the next man do.
Exactly.
Okay, when we run around this corner, when we going through this obstacle course, you checking to see where the weak link is. If all of y'all went running and his ass back here, slow jogging, it's okay, we saw you. We saw that.
We will all suffer for their inadequacy.
Well, either you'll suffer for it in training or you'll suffer for it and die in some country somewhere, but you're watching him, especially if you've had issues out of him. It's like, hey, bruh, we done told you about cleaning your socks. We done told you about making the bed. We done told you about that. We watching. Everybody else is making theirs. Y'all, out the corner of y'all's eyes, y'all are looking to see. Okay, let's see if he on that bull jive.
Out of the blanket party.
Okay, it can go down. But the bottom line is when I'm dealing with women, what I learned was that women are a wonderful investment and that you get a very high rate of return if you have the right one. But a woman does not believe what you do unless she's young and naive. When they're no longer young and naive, they believe what you do. They don't believe what you say unless they're young and naive. They believe what you do. What you want to do is create a very close proximity between what you say and what you do. So it's very important that you start explaining your plans.
Not potential plans, actual plans.
What you're actually doing is very important that you explain your plans, depending on whether or not she is close to you, so that she understands that what you say and what you do, if he says this is going to be very, very closely followed by action. Now you're validating your actions, validate your words. And from now on, when you speak, that's as good as being done because she knows his actions and his words run parallel. But you have to show that. And that's something you have to show over a period of time. When you tell this woman that you value her, some of this stuff can be intangible, but also you can't elevate a person's life with intangibles.
Oh.
So as the man, what you are doing is you're not showing you're a fool. What you are showing her is a token of your character. That what I describe as feeding the troops. If she's done her job and this, that, there, and the other, what you're showing her is we're going to do something new. We're going to do something new. That's where the background information that I get comes into play. I don't have to beat Jay. All this is going to sound familiar. Prince is asking a great question because all this is going to sound familiar, things you all have heard before. I don't have to beat Jay-Z and Drake. I just got to beat the last two guys you were with. I don't have to outdo any of these celebrities. I just got to outdo the last two guys you're with. That's all. I just have to outdo them. I just have to do more than them. I just have to produce more than them. I just have to make better on my promises than them. And that is upgrading you. That is excelling. That is what you ain't had before. That is feeding the troops. You don't have to be no damn celebrity because she hasn't had that. You just take a look at where she's been. It's like, okay, we're going somewhere new. We're going somewhere different. You're going to have something different here. Every woman's Cinderella fantasy pretty much runs the same, but most of them have never even gotten a taste of that before. You don't have to drown them in it. You just have to show them that you're serious. You just have to show them that you're serious. And that's why you elevating yourself is an essential part of that, because elevating yourself is you bring her along with you. But remember, elevation can't be intangible, because it will be, if everything you do is intangible, it will be impossible to tell the distinction between you and the con artist who don't do nothing but talk jive. How are we supposed to tell the two of you the difference between the two of you? Both of you only operate and traffic in intangibles. The men who produce, we traffic in tangibles.
Yes.
The men who don't traffic in intangibles. So the finances are important with a female, and being generous with the right one is important for two reasons. Number one, it shows you that you're serious. Number two, finances with a woman serve both the reward and the punishment mechanism. You cannot have a viable punishment mechanism unless there is a viable reward mechanism. The reward mechanism is the punishment mechanism. Its presence is the reward. Its absence is the punishment. You've taken her someplace she's never been before. Now you pulled the plug. You didn't send her back where she was. You left her stranded in the middle of nowhere.
Exactly.
That's what happens when you pull the plug on the rewards to a place she's never been. And I'm telling you, what will happen is she will go stark raving mad.
Yes.
I've had it happen more than once. A couple of times in person when they could get at me, and about a dozen times over the phone when they couldn't get directly at me. It's the real damn deal. If you believe that investment is worth nothing, I'm telling you. By the way, I don't ever worry about, relationships ending badly or whatnot. When that plug gets pulled, trust me, you're about to find out what your value is. They'll hold strong for a little bit, but watch, your phone's going to get flooded. It's going to be cussing, screaming. If there's a way for them to try to get at you, they're damn sure going to do it. They're showing you your value. A woman going ballistic, a woman going insane, that's her showing you your value. A woman don't go crazy over a man that she doesn't love. A woman don't go crazy over a man she doesn't value. If she's sitting there being quiet, mediocre, she didn't value you. If you pulled the plug and she's going nuts, oh, she valued you. Yes, that rule. And I'm telling you, that's what the best investment you ever made. The reward mechanism is the punishment mechanism.
And if you have never had a woman do that, you're not valued. I love that term. That sounds like a recurring theme, Jason. Value. Now, Jason, man, you say so much, but I want to ask you about tipping. Do you have a problem with mandatory tipping or gratuity?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan. It's one thing for me to be generous. It's another thing for somebody to tell me how generous I'm going to be. So I don't like that whole thing. I'm going to say what happened. I had an experience at the Mandarin Oriental. I was at the Mandarin Oriental last year, and P. Diddy. I hope I wasn't in the P. Diddy suite. I hope I wasn't in a freak off suite. Although I'm afraid I might have been. So it's rough on me.
Love them high-end hotels.
It's rough on me. It's rough on me. I'll never see it the same way again. They said that list of hotels up, and I'll be damned. Is he following me around? But I'm at the Mandarin Oriental now. You go up the elevator, and you go up to the lobby because nobody has their lobbies on the floor anymore. They're way up in the air. All right, right there off the lobby is where the restaurant is. Love the restaurant. Great view of the city, Central Park, all that. Wonderful. You have your meal. You do your thing. Then they present you with the bill. Okay. But the gratuity is already in the bill. That's the first thing. Then they want to know if you want to tip on top of that.
What?
Now, folks, like I say, this is why it is so important here. I got to tell y'all, I'm not the guy telling you what somebody else told me. I got the damn receipts, the literal receipts to show you. The nice little bag they gave us. It was like the nice little bag they gave us, and it's got all the little Chinese treats and stuff. That's cool and everything. But when you get your receipt from them, it's already added into the bill. So we were well over $300 when that got done. Well over $300. Then it had a thing on there at the bottom to add a tip. Now they've already informed me that the tip was added to the cost of everything, to the cost of the meal and everything already.
Did you keep it cool?
Brother, I mean, I'm not telling you what somebody else told me. I'm telling you that that's what they doing. And I'm telling you where it happened. So you can go check me on that. Anybody who wants to dispute that, you can go check that. You can go check that. I'm not making this up. I'm telling you, by the way, Mandarin Oriental, downtown, New York City, Columbus Circle. Cool, fantastic service. They are everything that they tell you. This is the first place I've ever been where I can give them 5 stars across the board. Fantastic service. And then they try to bludgeon you in the damn restaurant.
Double tip.
Now, don't get me wrong. The food was fantastic. The service was great. Our waiter was exceptional. Okay, but y'all double dipping. You've already put that on the tip. Now you're asking for more. So like I say, things like that. That leaves a sour taste in your mouth when that happens. Like y'all did all this good, and now you're leaving that left a little bit of a sour taste with me. So I'm not a fan of things like that. And I'm not a fan of mandatory tipping, to be totally honest, because I might not have liked what occurred. And I'm not a bad tipper by any stretch of the imagination. But I might not have liked what occurred. And I don't want you assuming that I'm okay with it. Don't do that. I don't like that. I may not come back simply as a matter of principle. So ask me if I'm going to tip, but don't tell me how generous I'm going to be.
So it's not the money, it's the message that you're sending. You want to be able to say how you feel about the service that you've been given. You don't want nobody stamping and say, hey, this is showing that you're satisfied. Okay. That makes sense. Brother, I just want to say thank you for everything, my brother. You really, you're on point. And I appreciate that, everything that you're doing for us.
Well, thank you very much for giving us a call. We appreciate that. Like I say, I don't want people telling me how generous I'm going to be. I don't like that. I've never liked that. Danny's talking about, they do that over downtown Miami. I wouldn't know. I hate the food in downtown Miami. I despise the food in downtown Miami, except for the Hard Rock Cafe on Bayside. I despise the food in downtown Miami. Downtown Miami has the worst food I've ever seen in my life. Where do they get this slop? The oyster place, the seafood place, where do they get this garbage? Ooh, Jason got an attitude about it. You go down there and go spend a bunch of money to eat some mess and see how you feel. So downtown Miami is awful. No, I'm not going to tip anything because I don't want anything. No. The best place to eat in downtown Miami is Whole Foods. The best spot to eat in downtown Miami is Whole Foods. Go get you one of those chickens in the plastic. Leave the restaurants alone. Leave the restaurants alone. It ain't working. I don't know whose culinary palate they're basing my downtown Miami on, but leave it alone. Leave it alone. Look, let me tell you, I'm not one of these fellas who tells you not to invest in your chick. If she's valuable, you need to do that because you need to set the tone for exactly what it takes to be with you and exactly what you expect and the level that you're on. You can't talk your way to that level. You got to show that. You got to show that. If she's worth that, then she gonna get that. But you got to be the fella who's down to have that. Fellas, you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. What I'm saying is you can't claim that you're continuously raising the bar and the dollar figures ain't continuously going up. That's why the numbers got to keep going up so that she understands, hey, baby, if you don't keep up, you're going to get left behind. No, seriously, you're going to get left behind. You know why, fellas? Because if the car that you're buying is continually getting more expensive, and if the life you're living is getting continuously more expensive, and the life you're leading is getting continuously more competitive, then you're going to have very little tolerance for a female who is not also getting more competitive and more expensive. She got to keep up with that. Things got to stay in balance. They got to stay in balance. A woman can be a great investment, but once again, you can't let her tell you how much the investment is going to be. If the value is there, you gonna pay that. Ladies, if the value is there, you don't have to question it. The value is there. If the only people you can get to do something here is old man Sam's or young dumb NBA athlete, well, that tells you what your value is. Not very much. But if you want a truly competitive man, a man who is physically impressive, a man who is vocally impressive, a man who is mentally impressive, a man who is socially impressive, you want a fellow who's got that across the damn board, and that's going to cost you. That's going to cost you. And ladies, most of you simply don't qualify for that dude. That's all. I'm not sitting up here talking down on nothing. Let's just keep it real. You don't qualify for that fella, and you're not trying to. You know full well you don't qualify for him, and you don't want to qualify for him. It's too much damn work. It is too much work. This man has a car that's in the top 1%. As a female, you got to be in the top 1%. You can't be lacking. You want a fella, he's got no holes in his game. As a woman, you can't have no holes in your game. You got females out here want to have holes in their game like a fishing net, but they want a fella who's rock solid. Baby, that ain't you. Bring them damn stretch marks and cellulite over here, and let's get this 50-50 cracking. Ladies, just stop the damn cap. You're streaking towards middle age like the Starship Enterprise at Warp 9. Scotty can't do a damn thing to slow it down. The stretch marks are going out like Interstate 20 in both directions. I ain't hating on you. I'm just saying let's let it be what it's gonna be. You need a basic dude. You can't handle the truth, and you sure as hell can't handle a producer. You need a basic dude who's gonna take you as you is. That's what you need. You need a basic dude who's gonna be all right with that. What the hell are you gonna do with a competitive producer? You need some old nigga who's putting some preparation H on and some icy hot in the wintertime. That's what you need. You need the fella who works the forklift at Home Depot, and he's gonna be just cool with you as you are. That's what you need. You don't need some fella who expects you to evolve and become a world-class female. You don't need that. You need the fella who still wears the Jerry curl working the drive-through window at Bojangles. That's what you need. What? He's cool. He gonna be there with you for the long run. You need that lonely old church deacon who everybody laughs at you behind your damn back, but you need to be with him now. He's wearing all these odd colored suits. His car is so damn long and looks like Morris Day's Cadillac from back in the day. Y'all remember that when that limousine took up a whole city block? They called it an eyesore. I ain't dissing on you, baby. I'm saying that's where you need to be. And you will go on vacations. You know how I know you're going to go on vacations? You will go on vacations, baby, because you are going to pay for it. You going to get together with this dude. Y'all going to put your pennies together and you going to go 50-50. And you will be glad that he is committed to you and you are committed to him. You will give up this nonsense that there's some producer out there who can't wait to sit up here and carry the damn freight. With your screwed off attitude and your delusions of grandeur. You're going to give up this idea that you are somehow competing with a 22-year-old. Baby, the only place you're competing with a 22-year-old is probably for a parking space at Walmart. Give it up, Johnny. Ladies, if you are not in the top 10% of females, 50-50. This is what it's going to be. 50-50. And stop trying to act like 50-50 is a slur. You're a basic chick. If you're a female over a size 10, you're a basic chick. If you're a female over the age of 28, you're a basic chick. If you got kids, you're sub-basic. You're run through. You got student loan debt. You're a basic chick. It's an insult to the men who can pay 100% of the freight to sit up here and run up on us. This basic chick is looking for something exceptional. You good like you are. You and the fella who worked the front desk at Firestone belong together. He's a hard-working dude. He got my Escalade in the air as we speak. He's reliable when he shows up. And there's nothing wrong with that. How the hell you gonna look down on him? Meanwhile, you look like one of the checkout girls at Walmart. You're buying all your damn clothes on sale over there, Rainbow. What the hell? It's not like what I'm saying is, ladies, 90% of you, you're not world-class chicks, man. I want a fella to give me a 1%er life. If you're a woman who's allowed to stay at home and not work, you gotta, depending on the neighborhood. But I'm just saying, you're sitting up here trying to get a 1%er life, really? Well, how about water seeking its own level? What about water seeking its own level? How about that one? We got too many females trying to act like they qualify for something they don't. When's the last time you saw definition in your ankles? When is the last time you saw definition in your ankles? When is the last time that your legs from your ankles to your hip bone didn't look like a looked like a blow pop? When you want to go on vacation, you know how damn hard you have to work for that. For those of you who do, because the women don't work nearly as hard as the men. No shade, ladies, you're with your little indoor air-conditioned desk job. So a man's supposed to come along and what you struggle with, he's supposed to just handle all that. And let's be clear, it's not like y'all handling big. I've been to some of the biggest vacation spots here. Okay, ladies, it's not like y'all killing it. That's not what's happening. Y'all show up for 2 little old raggedy ass days, take your ass home. I mean, come on, ladies, y'all are going on vacations for weekends now. They're not even spending a week anymore. You can't afford it. You're going on so-called vacation for a weekend. You leave out on Friday, you're back at work Monday. Nothing's getting upgraded. It's not like you're paying for 2 weeks somewhere. Hell, y'all can't... Chicks are paying for vacations at the airport in Dubai now. They can't even make it to the hotel anymore. They're just proud to be milling around the airport for a few days. No, you better get together with Mr. 50-50. The fellow who is willing to go half on that vacation with you, that's the one you need to be talking to. Stop fantasizing about a caliber of man you don't have, because we're going on your timelines. Even to the ones of you who are married, you ain't got no ballin' nigga like that. None of you do. I've been on your timelines. I'm not gonna say no names. Y'all need to quit. That nigga ain't carrying no weight. You sitting up here acting like he got you sitting at home living an upper middle class lifestyle. Woman, lie. Come on, let's just keep that part real. None of these chicks online talking about they won't take a 50-50. You ain't got a man who's giving you 25% right now, much less anything else. The ones who are married, he ain't doing nothing. Been up and down your damn timeline and nothing's happening. You're sitting on the internet false flagging to the world because ain't nobody checking your paperwork. Nothing's happening. That fella is not somebody that we as other men admire. He can't show his works. He can't put it out there. He can't nothing. That's why y'all ain't saying anything. There's nothing worse than a female sitting up here trying to false flag about a dude. You trying to sit up here and stunt in front of other females who ain't checking the damn paperwork. If they would just check it for half a damn second and ask just a few questions, they realize, oh, this half a lying. And all of them are doing that now. The majority are doing that. The men lie about how much money they make, and the women are lying about the quality of man that they got. That's why they talking about they don't want to do 50-50. Meanwhile, she's sitting at home, and if a fella returns a phone call, she doing everything. We're not allowed to have an honest conversation with you about where you really are and about what you really got and what's really going on, and your life's become a big-ass embarrassment as a result. I ain't just saying that to be saying that. Life becomes a big-ass embarrassment when you got to carry that on your own. Because the truth of the matter is, when you say you don't want to go 50-50, what you're saying is you want a fly-ass dude. She wants a fella who's going to carry that. And what I'm saying is that men carry that. Women want a man who can pick them up and carry them around. You want a man who can make you feel lighter than air. But ladies, we only do that for women who make us feel like we walking on air. That's an exceptional man that you are describing who does more than 50-50. 50-50 is the basic dude today. If you want more than that, you want an exceptional fella. The world, listen to me, women, the world is more expensive today than it has ever been. It is more expensive today than it has ever been for literally everything, from a pack of bubble gum to a house. So when you say you want a man who is carrying 100%, he's carrying 5 times what your daddy and your granddaddy did. That's not a regular dude. Damn sure ain't basic. That's an exceptional fella today who can carry his load and yours. So he's carrying his load and yours, and he ain't scraping the bottom of the damn barrel. That ain't an average fella. That's an exceptional dude you got right there. That's a special fella. 50-50 is the average basic dude. But you're an average basic female. You have average looks. You're at an average weight. Or should I say basic weight? You got basic looks, basic weight, basic income, basic ambitions at a basic age. Nothing's getting better. And telling us about I'm too good for 50-50. But if a man is seen with you, nobody sees him as exceptional when they look at you. Looking like one of the janitorial staff at Mall of America. This is delusional. You're going on Instagram, you're going on TV, you're flipping through your favorite magazines, you're sitting up here watching these love and hip hop shows, okay, but you ain't built like that. You're not sitting next to a man and making people sit up here and stop and inquire about him. You're not making him more interesting because you sitting there. No, you need 50-50. A fella who doesn't expect you to elevate his status. 50-50 means that what he sees is what he gets. What? That's what it means. And as most women today, you ain't bringing no extra added value. Okay, fine. Let it be what it's going to be. What he sees is what he gets. Let me ask you all a devastating question right now. How many married women do you know who 10 years into the marriage gained a washboard set of abs? I'll wait. Auntie, chill. You think about all these so-called wives out here. All these so-called married women on the internet. If you want to know whether or not these fellas got a square deal, you tell me how many women have a flatter stomach today than they did before they got married 5 years ago. You can sit up here and pay for her to stay at home all you damn well want to. How many stay-at-home wives have you all seen who got flatter abs and a rounder rear end? She got all day to sit at home. How many of you have seen that happen? You've seen a bunch of them get bigger all over. While she telling you she don't want to do 50-50. And meanwhile, if she does get to stay at home, it's not like she's knocking it out of the damn park with nothing to concentrate on except how she looks and how she comports herself. It isn't like he's getting 8 hours of rabid concentration, fixation, and dedication to making herself his best representative. That ain't happening. Y'all tell me how many married women who've been stay-at-home wives that you've seen sit up here and develop muscle tone. How many have you seen do that? That's what men get for giving 100%. Hell no, you stay that 50-50. You stay that 50-50. You good? You good? Yeah, the women don't want to talk about that right there. Yeah, she wants to be a stay-at-home woman, but she wants to look like a damn rutabaga. So he's out here financially fit, and this is the reward that he gets for it. He is being exceptional, but what he's getting from his woman is living an exceptional life, but he's not getting anything exceptional. He's getting he's giving exceptional benefits so he can get the same basic broad everybody else got. That's what I want the women to understand. You want your man to be exceptional so he can go have the same basic female everybody else got. The same basic chick from the timeline everybody else has. If he's going to get a basic chick, he needs to pay a basic fee. 50-50. If what he sees is what he going to get, then 50-50 is what you see. 50 is what you get. 50. You ain't never seen 80-20 be what you see is what you get. If what I see is 80, then what I should get is 80. And the sad reality is the chicks sitting up here talking about they don't do 50-50. They sitting at home doing 50-50 like a son of a gun while they lying their asses off to all these younger females because they want the younger females to sit up here and be unreasonable. These old hoes. Did he say hoes?
And deal with it, nigga.
I sure did. These old hoes are lying all over the place because they want the younger females to be unreasonable because they know that's where the energy is going. Well, if we just corrupt the younger females and lie and mislead them, then hopefully they will be so unreasonable that the men will have no choice but to slither back over here and come fight with us. While these old women are lying. Just straight up lying. They sitting out here doing 50-50, in some cases doing 70-30 or more. And lying to the young chicks as if they getting something. You young females need to check these old hoes' paperwork. Be like old dude's auntie. You check the paperwork and find out, oh, auntie lying her ass off. She lying her ass off.
Auntie, chill.
They ain't no joke. That's not a joke. Recognize what they're doing here. So ladies going forward, 50-50 gonna be what it's gonna be. Stop sitting up here with this damn gaslighting you doing. Y'all are already doing 50-50. You're not gonna fool the men. You're not shaming them. You're certainly not deceiving them into bidding their price up, except for some of the most desperate sad sacks. Now, them guys are a different matter. But for the men as a group, baby, all y'all doing is whistling to the wind. You are not gaslighting the men as a group. We gonna take a look at you, and that's gonna determine what motivates us. And don't think that your willingness to be a third wheel or a fifth wheel is going to change that. If we look at you and we see a basic chick, and most women today, the majority of women today are basic broads, ain't a knock on you, just reading the mail. It's math. Okay, most men are basic men, and you need to be with a basic man. He 50-50, you 50-50. All this a 50-50 chick trying to get more than that, now you just 51-50. We're here to help, whether you believe it or not. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on PayPal, Super Chat, Venmo. Jeffrey Cornelius, thank you very much for your support. We appreciate that. Evan Smith, Mr. Kamathi, thank you very much as well. If you are new here to the business, welcome to the program that all your favorite YouTubers love to hate watch. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time that we are here. If you have not joined our Patreon, the link is in the description. Big things happening over there as well. So keep your eyes and your ears open. You have been warned. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to tonight's program. Thank you for watching live or recorded. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. Thank you for contributing to support us. And this concludes this broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business, or your business will go 50-50 on you.